Okay, so push. Do you want me to mute VMix until gameplay comes?
right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday and welcome to Series E. It is Rockstar Week. As you can see, we got the set all Rockstarred out. Got some cans right here next to me, ready for an awesome week here of Series E action. We're kicking off week number 2, and I'm super excited about it as we will have our first official open night of the season. I'm stoked to get into it. Now, for those of you that may be new to the show, new to Series E, I can break down just exactly how things work for all of you, okay? Series E is a professional Apex Legends open circuit that absolutely anyone can join, okay? We have 9 squads that qualified either through our open qualifiers or through their placements in Season 2 of our competition. All those squads have now been drafted and signed by our 9 partnered brands. Now, each one of those players makes $750 a month salary, as well as competes weekly every Tuesday night against other open squads like they used to be themselves, and every single Wednesday against some of the top pros from all across North America. If you and your squad want to get in on the action, make sure to head over to matchareno.com/ESA for a shot at being a future Series E Pro. Now, as I mentioned, we're kicking off our first official open night. If you remember last week, we did a little something different, playing with the cards and the hand that we were dealt. We did an arenas tournament. That was honestly very fun, a new format for us and for the players, and we certainly had a blast. But it's our first night officially on World's Edge for Open Night for Season 3, and that brings a lot of meaning with it. One team I want you folks to keep an eye on is Asheras. They were very impressive in arenas a week ago. It can be difficult to try and transfer the results from there onto World's Edge. It's a very different game, but they brought the gun skills. They brought the impressive fighting that I think should translate to an extent here onto World's Edge. So that's an open team you should keep an eye out for. The one that you should be keeping an eye out for, though, on the partnered side is Team Intel. They had an extremely strong week last week. They won the arenas tournament on Tuesday, placed 4th behind 3 strong pro squads on Wednesday, and they're looking to carry that momentum here into competition this week. So a couple of you for you to think about there. And then don't forget about tomorrow. We will have our pro night once again. Also, if you guys want a little more info on what's going on and you want to see my thoughts on the pro teams this season, you can hit !rankings in Twitch chat right now, and you can check out my article where I ranked all of our pro teams competing in this season from 1 to 11, gave a little bit of my thoughts on where they stand coming into this season. So it's going to be a fun one, but we've got plenty of action tonight. 6 games between our partner squads and the open teams, and we're ready to get it rolling. It is Rockstar Week. The action continues here on Series E, so let's get it rolling.
Series E.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Apex Legends.
Series E.
Series E. Apex Legends.
Series E Apex Legends starts right now. All right, welcome everybody to Series E, where we do have a special guest joining me this week. Casting alongside me for all of tonight's game, it is going to be Stella. Stella, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you? It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you. Yeah, first time we've worked together. I know you've been doing a lot of stuff on the ALGS broadcast. It's exciting to have another desk member here joining me for these games, and it is going to be for Rockstar Week. One thing I do want to note, of course, there's a very big notable absence there. I mean, you guys are missing out on the tangerine, mango, guava, strawberry Rockstar Lights. You guys need to kind of rectify that as soon as possible, and I'm so glad that it is Rockstar Week because, you know, I chug along all the time with my Rockstars. It's kind of a terrible addiction, I would say, that I have, but you know, I'm really excited. I always love when it's a Rockstar Week because Rockstar never, ever disappoints. Let's go ahead and talk about the format for today. And like Yeso said on the desk, it is, of course, going to be open night. So our 9 partnered squads will be facing off against 11 hopefuls here, and we have $500 on the line. So a lot of money up for play. First place walking away with $350, and second place walking away with $150. Six matches will be played, of course, on World's Edge, and the point distribution, I mean, we're all used to it up at this point, Stella. Placement points matter, kill points matter.
Absolutely. You can't count any team out. Just because you place second doesn't mean you can't take the first spot for that entire match, because you might make up for it in kills.
Exactly. And, we typically see it's like a 50-50 split a lot of times for our squads in terms of the points accrued, especially for the winning squads, where a lot of it comes down to just if you end up in the top 3 or so, you will end up with some kills as well along the way. Let's go ahead and talk about the 11 squads that will be joining our 9 partner teams for today. And so one thing Yeso did note is that we're going to be, of course, keeping an eye on a team like Asura's, who was one of our best performers. We had, 3 out of 4, I think, partnered squads in our semifinals, and Asura's was the only one in the semifinals that was not a partnered squad. So they showed that they can definitely frag out in arenas where it's just, even 3v3s. But once we get to Battle Royale, it becomes a whole new story, Stella.
Oh, it's an entirely different game. Honestly, I know a lot of people who get into Apex are like, oh yeah, Battle Royale is cool, but arenas, it's totally different. It's 3v3, very private quarters. You have to focus on gunplay, but in Battle Royale, there's so many other factors that come in, like third party, loot pool. There's a lot to focus on. So this is really going to test your skills on how you are at survival.
Yeah, and one important thing to note is that because whenever we have these open nights, it becomes like this big wild card, wild west kind of scenario where maybe a lot of these teams aren't familiar with each other, and so they're not familiar with where they'll usually drop. So in game number 1, I'm really excited to keep an eye on all the early game action where I suspect there should be a lot of 50-50 fighting off of drop. That's going to be a lot of fun. Other notable teams I really want to talk about, of course, we do have 2 brains, 1 control. That's going to be Tech, Mercy, and Oxieres. Oxy. There we go. Oxy Aries. Oh man, there's so many ways you could pronounce that one, and I of course went the wrong route the first try.
It's okay. We'll just keep going. You're fine. We'll just keep going.
So I'm excited to see 2 brains, 1 controller, but as well, I'm looking forward to Clone Force 32. Another squad I think did particularly well during an arenas game, but also these are players that we've seen throughout Series E Season 2, play it out throughout the open registration nights. And so, Series E, this is a lot about development of teams, not just our partner squads, but also providing the opportunity for our 11 open squads to try and develop their skills as a team together. And these 3 individual players, we've seen them plenty of times, so I want to see what they have in store for Season 3. Right now, we are getting game number 1 set up. There's been a lot of exciting news behind the scenes when it comes to custom lobbies and everything. And we know that there were some issues that we had. Of course, that's the reason why we ran the Arenas Mode tournament last week. But this time around, there have been a lot of fixes to hopefully streamline the process, and we can get through between games a lot quicker. So I'm really excited to see how all the hot fixes for custom arenas works out. I'm really excited for that. Another squad, let's continue to talk about the teams that we have. 6XZs is another squad that we've seen fairly frequently in Season 2, and that's another squad I'm looking forward to. They do have, it looks like, some changes, and the only really returning member from that squad is going to be Nades. But Goopy and Mitten, I have to imagine that's going to be his name, are going to be joining him. So we're, of course, going to have to keep an eye out for them. A lot of teams here. Are there any players here that you might be familiar with that you're excited to see?
Not individual players. I do remember seeing 2 brains, 1 controller in ALGS, so I'm very excited to see how well they do here. I'm honestly, just this first match, I'm gonna feel out how these teams play, how aggressive they are, because honestly, like you said, on drop, if we see more contesting, then it means that they're very confident, and I really want to see that. I want to see which teams feel confident and want to take more fights, because that usually benefits them in the long run.
Yeah, and sometimes that confidence can come to bite you, and you got to figure out where you're going to drop for game number 2, or do we see teams, being hard-headed and continue to just 50-50? Because Tom and I talk about this time and again that there are very few opportunities to get the practice in like a tournament setting. And so you kind of need to set the pace, not just for Series E, but for ALGS. This is where a lot of the fighting takes place before we get to the big tournaments during ALGS, where a lot of squads have established their drops. And so if I see, one of our partnered established squads getting challenged by open teams and maybe lose out on the first 50-50, I don't see our partnered squads changing things up, but I do see maybe our open registration teams. They're the ones that'll be a little bit more lenient on where they go for game number 2 or game number 3. And I just got word from our admin, and there we go, flying into World's Edge for game number 1. I don't know who we're going to be following along for. It should be Rockstar, though. It is Rockstar week, and Series E Season 3 has kind of a new beast because we've had a lot of teams that did end up getting relegated, and new teams did make the cut into Series E. And so the drop spots are still a little escape me in terms of where everyone goes. So let's go ahead. We have a decent split so far. It looks like Team Applejacks will be going over towards Sorting Factory. No contest over there for them. And then we had a team going over to Tree, but there we go as we fly over Harvester right now. We're going to have maybe some early game action. Like we said, it's game number 1. And here's Rockstar. And of course, they have a team on top of them. He's got to be careful. It's Strictly almost out that I have the All Father there. And now he's going to go ahead and drop down with one of his squad members, pushing into that elevator shaft. And they're going to go ahead and take out Clone Force 32. That is the first 50-50 of the day. And Team Rockstar do not disappoint.
Yeah, you were talking about early game contention, and here you go. That was an easy, smooth fight for them right there. So Rockstar kind of coming out on top right now.
Yeah, this is going to be important because I feel like for a team like Clone Force 32, they're another squad that quite possibly might go ahead and contest every 50-50, all 6 games. Team Intel, though, over here at Staging, they are no strangers to having to fight off drop, especially when it comes to this very centralized location on the map. A lot of teams do want to stick around for it. It looks like Team Intel will be able to heal up. You got Skittle Cakes on the high ground. Verhulst and Dupe are playing together, so Skittles is going to create some ground at least between the team that is contesting them, and we'll just back away for the time being.
Yeah, it's so important to notice when you need to back off from a fight. Especially watching ALGS, it really taught me that players who know when to back off from a fight, even if the enemies are low, that's just that much more survival, and they can last so much longer.
Especially in these early game fights, right? If you have the heals and you're fairly sure maybe your opponents don't, it's just better to take another moment, take a 5-second breather, 6-second breather, top off on your shields, and then reapproach that fight, especially if you have weapons you think you can work off of right now. It looks like Kupski, though, thinks we're still in arenas. He's rocking the Volt Mozambique. Maybe he'll go ahead and upgrade that as soon as he finds a better shotgun for himself. And we have a first look at the ring. This one's going to be pulling all the way over towards Countdown. There's a small chance it goes over to Train Yard, but most squads are going to go ahead and keep an eye on Countdown there and try to find a proper position. On board with some nobodies as we're joining on board with Prideful, Crew, and Protectful over here at West Frag, rotating through. Pride took a big heady there and is forced to bat.
Oof, man, taking damage off the bat with no extra damage for you. Not being able to build your shield is kind of crucial in the beginning, especially since they're going to try to rotate into end zone. And rotations are so important here. Either you get there first, or you're punished for not being there at all.
Ooh, the bubble's already been used by this squad as well, and so they're going to be forced back, and you can see Protectful with that R301 getting some decent damage off, hitting for Flash. Ooh. Might get the knock. No! They safely make it, but now, these squads that dropped in Frag East and Frag West, typically that's, where you have priority. These 2 squads should be the first one to move, first one to zone and such like that. But they're now stuck here fighting against each other, and it looks like maybe some nobodies could stick around, maybe pick some early 3KP.
Yeah, it looks like they're also building their shields, which is really great. 2 have blue, 1 has purple, so they might be able to get the head start on fighting here and come out on top. But we'll see. It looks like they're actually disengaging from the fight.
Yeah, I'm so confused. So typically, when you have that Frag East and Frag West split, someone does take that construction building, but Protectful picked up so much from there. He got maybe an additional 100 some odd light ammo, some extra bats, some extra cells. So maybe this squad not as used to actually taking this loot. Here comes this team of Asurus, though, as they're rotating up into Frag East, and so they'll be fine playing here on the edge. I don't know exactly where Asurus came from, But at this point, the fact that they're, of course, moving in with round 1 closing means they're probably from the southern side right now, though. Team Splash, unfortunately, missing out on a squad member. Malasmon was already down, and Turns is left to fight what should be a 1v3. He's got 2 above, and almost got the knock onto that Bloodhound, but it's still going to be difficult for Turns here as he goes for that repeat. Going up the stairs now, picks up the banner of Malice Mamba, and might actually just get out of here at this point. He's over here at Thermal Station.
Yeah,
there's a beacon there, but there's another one to the north.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be a very risky move for him to 1v3 an entire team, but it looks like he just went for the banner, which was very risky. Like, that was a pretty ballsy move from him right there.
Yeah, but he is, of course, on that Octane, so he'll have that extra movement speed. But here's Team Pop-Tarts. I believe they come over from Geyser, and so they might run into Team Asurus, who had just moved through here. You can see the scan going down. We see the outlines through Market right now, the full 3-man squad. And Z Davis, he wants these early game kills, and especially coming from basically the farthest end to where the next zone is going to be. They're more than perfectly happy with playing just Edge at this point.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that Asurus was the team to watch, so I would really love to see Pop-Tarts and Asurus fight, but I don't know if they're going to run into each other here. They do see tracks, but do you think they'll chase?
It seems like he does want to. He had another scan, but it looks like multiple teams are actually in the area. As you can see, the port was used by a squad up by the train track platform to go ahead and pick up that world drop. The Wraith portal was there as well. So Team Pop-Tarts know that multiple teams are in the area, and so now they're just going to go ahead and slow things down as we join on board with Team Intel over here at Lava Fissure. Some damage was traded across. Dupe is still sitting on that white armor. Unfortunate for him. We'll see, though. This is a position where they could try to poke out and get some damage across for the Evo shields. But here's Team Cheez-It now making a push, as I think there was just a duo that was left here, unless this was the res that came out earlier on at Thermal Station. So Team Cheez-It might have an opportunity for about 4 kill points here.
Oh, that might be great for them. That might actually set them up for endgame play here if they're able to push this. It looks like it is a 3v2.
Oh.
Absolutely destroyed in the air with the flatline. Oh my goodness. I think people underestimate how strong that gun actually is. And just shot out of the air, almost killing them.
As well. He's going to continue to chase him.
Yeah.
I believe they were just brought over here because of that res. So Malice Mama gets finished off, and now Malice wants to find the last one. The scan comes out, hitting for Flesh. He should be able to finish this one off. Now it's about the other team that was actually in the area, because we have to remember that they were in a fight. So that was the Octane that was able to grab the banner and get out beforehand. But it looks like they might have actually given him the juke. On board with Team Pringles, though, over here by Epicenter, they find themselves in the middle of a fight right now. They're going to go ahead and full slide down, as Presley is leading the charge for his squad. Beast the Hunt is going this entire time, as he's got the Spitfire around. They do at least secure that kill on to Kiyuni, and it looks like Team Splash, Nestle, are knocked out. We're down to 15 squads here in round number 2.
Wow, that's actually just a small amount of squads for Circle 2. I'm so used to things not moving as quickly as this, so it's really nice to see so many early fights, because you can see how hungry they are for placement and kills.
There we go. Finding out the lone Gibraltar, they will be able to get the knock onto Zim, and there's one player remaining for this squad. So it looks like a lot of our partner squads understanding what's going on. They feel like, of course, maybe deservedly so, they are better than a lot of the teams in the lobby, and so they're going to go ahead and push the aggression here on the edges. Other teams, though, changing things up as Team Pop-Tarts. They were playing on the edge. They've got to be careful. The Thermite ticking down as Lion almost goes down. Z Davis dropped down low, but the PK shot onto Strictly here as Pop-Tarts will go ahead and continue this push. Dropping down, finds one, climbing up, and now it's just a matter of time, but they've got to be careful. It's the 1v2 up top as the bubble goes down, and Lion's not able to connect. There we go. Hits for the 99. Pop-Tarts are knocked out. Team Rockstar survive, and they'll be able to continue on here. We'll see if any other teams rotate through, but I have to imagine that was a largely isolated fight. As we go back over towards Lava Fissure, Team Razor scanning around, and take a look at their equipment. It's all golden for them.
How did they do that? RNG must be on their side, and they are circle guarding, which is huge, especially towards circle 3. So they might have the advantage here, but it seems like they're getting sniped. I hope they have long range here, because they might be able to hold out this other team.
Yeah, we got the R301 with the golden mag on Zara Tricky. They don't really need to go for the pokes. They all just need the knock. But it looks like Team Rockstar are in another fight. Remix coming in, getting 2 kills onto them, leaving strictly into a 1v3. But Remix just completely decimates them, and like their team name describes, gives no respect. They've even got the gold bag res, I believe. But no, Neg is healed, is res back up with only 25 HP as another squad is looking to come in for the third party. But it looks like the opportunity has left as give no respect. We'll go ahead and continue to move on. They do have a lot of cover to work with here in the bridge, but also just a lot to recover here inside the Broken Diner.
Yeah, they will actually, it looks like they might be the furthest from the circle. So them and another team are actually caught very far outside the circles. They're going to have to move in, but there might be people circle guarding, which is huge, especially since they might be able to pick off and get KP that way.
And they have a minute to work with, but as you can see on the eastern side, there is a team controlling both chokes to get into the next zone. So they might be in some trouble as we join on board with Rice Krispie Treats. And it seems like not a good day to be at Gibraltar, as all of our Gibraltar players have been sitting on white Evos. But RKT running the composition that we don't get to see as often. We've got the Valkyrie along with the 2 big boys on Caustic and on that Gibraltar. So their endgame fighting can be extremely strong. It's just about getting to that endgame. And for the time being, you need to focus getting some extra damage off their Nemusana for your Evo shields.
Yeah, they are in circle, so they are safe, but they just need to establish dominance that this one area is theirs. And it looks like they are trying to build shields here with RK Clinical, I think that's how you say his name, 121 away from getting purple, which will be big in endgame fights.
You know, we have a better idea of all the squads that are considering this one to go over to Lava Fissure, or at the very least controlling the western side of the zone. But I feel like, I don't know, it looks like it should be going over to Countdown. There's a small chance that it might pull like hard over here to Lava Fissure, but here it is, Team Pringles moving up, and they're the squad that was actually controlling the chokes that we were talking about, the squads that were moving through Frag East and Frag West, getting caught up here. Now, this is zone number 3, so you can tank a good amount of it, and maybe this squad decides to try and rotate over towards the train yard side, but they're going to need a lot of heals for it. As you can see, Pringles themselves, they got to be careful now. They've left themselves within 1 headshot range of going down, but as you can see, just as they hit that threshold, they back off the heal.
Yeah, and Phony still had his shield there, so they could have potentially saved and res there, but that's always a very risky play, playing outside of the circle, especially on round 3.
Team Intel, we saw them here in Lava Fissure earlier on. They are up to triple purples now. Skittlecakes, he actually gets scanned up, so he's got to be careful. Hopefully, it looks like he does have squad members actually watching the ledge side, so no one can really push him. But he wants to get rid of this position. He needs to get rid of this team because, as you can see, the next zone, or well, the zone afterwards will be closing in on the northwest side of Countdown, the connecting area between Countdown and Lava Fissure. So controlling this building will give them a huge opportunity to try and gatekeep the squads that'll be coming from the western side of this zone. Skittles, with a quick peek on over, if he just had a scan from Verhulst to give him an idea that he could actually push this building for free.
Oh, and there's another opposing scan right there. And the opposite team knows that she's not moving, or that Skittles not moving from that position. I think they know, and they're getting ready for this push, because this building is going to be essential for the next circle.
Got the Spitfire and the Eva 8 and was waiting out the timing. Oh, pulls that out just a little bit late. Ooh. And it's for about 42 there, getting rid of the arm shield as well. So Skittlecakes has a moment to try and work with, but it looks like another squad from over at Countdown will put a stop to this push for now. But Team Intel, they're not going to be dissuaded from this. They're going to go ahead and continue to regroup as a third. As you can see, Duke is still actually far back over at the circle building for now. So Team Intel versus Team Razor. Unless Duke joins them, this is just going to be a 2v3. Here comes out the scan can, along with the Beast of the Hunt. Good thermite out from Razor just to stop the push. Defensive bombardment as well. It goes a little bit wide, and so Team Intel can actually just hug the building for now. The bubble will be used as well. They got the crack onto Verhulst, and so Team Razor will continue to push up for now. As you can see, the flank coming up for Baby Thule, but it's the instant turnaround until it was just the bait out from Baby Thule. Razor push out as a two-man, gets that, and unfortunately the third party comes in. Baby Thule gets finished off, and so Team Razor just down to a duo as Cheez It here on the southern side of the zone are looking to try and gatekeep another squad, but there's plenty of room to work off of. Never mind. Time has run out along with space, and they're going to be able to finish off this team.
That's the caster's luck right there. It looks like...
Oh, this team is just
Cheez It
stuck inside the rocks.
Trying to secure that late game KP with this full team wipe. Can they do it? The EVA 8 shots are just too powerful, and they secure the entire team kill, and that's 3 right there.
Here's Rice Krispies making that push onto Team Razor, but Team Razor are fighting back. It might be a 1v2 right now as they're trying to utilize, of course, the utility that they have. So Team Razor still fighting this out. It's actually a 2v2. Zero Tricky by himself, though. It's a full push out, as it looks like 2 Brains, 1 Controllers came in for that third party. So just Hackilo calls it there. We'll back away and try to survive for as long as possible. We're down 10 squads now, 2 Brains, 1 Controller. And arguably one of the best spots in the zone right now.
Yeah, they're able to oversee all the spots behind them and just kind of gatekeep to the other teams who want to find different cover. So they kind of have the knowledge right now. They know where every team is at. They know what they have to use. And they have all these death boxes for resources.
Zero Tricky getting finished off as well, bringing us down to 9 squads. But it's not just 9 squads. We're missing about 4 players. So a lot of teams are currently damaged as we join on board with Asurus. Quite possibly considering crashing this party here, but they know who's up there. Unless Nano fries with that wingman. But they can't push off of it quite yet. They know that there's a lot of armor swaps there, so unless you get the knock, you just can't push that. As Protectful goes and takes a knock onto Mollis here as Cheez It need to hold the line, and it looks like the fast res does come out to bring him up, but he doesn't have a gold bag res for him, so it's going to leave Finicky and Cheez It to try and hold the line into 2v3 here, as it looks like Mollis was at least able to get a bat off, but he just gets headshot once again. Protectful take him out, and Team Cheez It are knocked out by some nobodies.
You know, when you say it like that out of context, it sounds a little funny. But it looks
I'm
like...
just throwing shade left and right. Look at, I'm going to be on Reddit. It's like, oh, Caster's just BMing left and right. Okay, all right.
Caster's taken out of context. Looks like Pringles here. Fury just absolutely nailing these Volt shots. And they're fighting against Applejacks. Yep. Who do you think? Yeah, there are 3 different squads here. It looks like Pringles might actually be in the worst position right now.
Being stuck down on that low ground. Don't know if they have mobility options right now. They can, of course, walk this up, but it's all about what Applejacks do here. They have multiple squads in the area that they need to deal with, though. And here comes out the scan. 5 hostiles detected. Not exactly what you want to see when you need to clear out this side. So it's very heavily congested here. And so teams like 2 Brains, 1 Controller. Actually, no. It seems like 2 Brains, 1 Controller might have been knocked out by Asuras. As you can see, Asuras are in that building that had a lot of fighting taking place earlier on.
Oh, yeah, I guess they finally got the finish there. And it looks like this next zone is going to be really hard to get into. So many teams with eyes everywhere. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be all about your movement characters, timing, and just, honestly, at this point, probably luck.
Yeah, Applejacks do have a lot of cover to work with walking up on this, so they can try and slow play this for as long as they can. But they need to worry, of course. I believe we had Team Pringles right below them, and double O negative, leaving me almost breathless there, almost going down. Is forced to pop that Phoenix kit. There's 15 more seconds before the ring starts closing. But like I said, Applejacks should be relatively safe as they can walk in with a lot of cover. That team that's playing inside the building should be forced out before them as well, and they have the other threat behind them. So Applejacks don't need to really force the issue. They just need to keep a good eye on that. But instead, they're going to go ahead and jump right into the bubble here. Defensive bombardment was used as well, but they've already lost out on one. It's traded back, though. It's a 1v2 now as Blueberry Smalls is left by himself. And Applejacks might just go down to a third party as well. As Blueberry Smalls will take a moment here to go ahead and pop that bat. And he might actually be able to get the res, but here comes the zone closing in on them very shortly now. Never mind, it's just the HUD bug. As they do get the res onto 00 negative. We'll see if they can completely get back up as he does secure the thirst. Here's Team Pringlezel. They lost out on Phony. About to fight, what, 2v3 up against Team Asurus as they're knocked back. And now Presley is trying his best to survive. He will go ahead and pop that jump pad to try and get out of there, but Aj gets the knock onto him, and it looks like Team Asurus are in the most dominant position here, picking up kills, knocks left and right, has a Kraber to work with, and there it is, the heady to take out Protectful. We're now down to our final two squads, and Team Asurus are looking so dominant here in game number one. Another connect with that Kraber. Aj is feeling himself. Here comes the Arkstars as well. And Team Asurus are going to have a massive game number one after they finish off Team
What an amazing shot
with that Kraber.
Oh, that was
Team
absolutely
Asurus.
nasty.
Yeah, you know at that point he was absolutely feeling himself. He gets the scan. He knows that there's just the duo there. They're able to go ahead and full send it in with that Kraber, connecting shot after shot. I don't believe he missed any Kraber shots in that last clip. So
I don't think
there you go. You're welcome, AJ. You've got yourself a highlight reel clip. And so make sure you timestamp that, save that, and get ready to put that on YouTube. But yeah, hey, I mean, we were talking about Caster's Curse, but it seems, at this point, you might be lucky to have my blessings.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's how we're going to go. All right.
Hey,
noted.
I said Team Asurus, team to look out for, and they showed up. But it was just game number one. We have 5 more left to go, so we're going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we get back, we'll have match number 2 right after this.
If I could create the Kimchi Lee Rockstar, I would create the lychee flavored Rockstar. Reason why? I haven't seen any other company do it. But anything that's lychee flavored is always bomb. And if Rockstar made a lychee flavored Rockstar, that's all I would drink. If you're ever looking for a drink or something to give you that extra juice during your gaming sessions, make sure you check out walmart.com/esports arena and go get some Rockstars. My name is Kimchi Lee and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week.
Verses coming daily under pressure. Working on applying the scheme. The true side trademark is at the edge of your dreams. Yeah. One shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark and motivate and make the industry shake. Put the balls in the breaks. I'm talking one chance that was so good for the goal. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Whoa.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies Treats. A little love when it's needed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Game number 1, all done. And there's a reason I told you to keep an eye out for Asheras as they come through with an impressive win. Some very clean shots there with the Kraber at the end, and they take the dub here in game number 1. They made a statement last Tuesday in arenas, and they're saying we are just as good, if not better, on World's Edge, and they come out with a win to start their first official open night. So big, impressive performance from them, and we'll have to see if they can keep it rolling. Team Rockstar, it's Rockstar week. They went out a lot earlier than they would hope. They had a rough performance last Wednesday, and they're looking to kind of get their legs underneath them this season. I have confidence that they will recover. There's a reason they were as strong as they were in qualifiers and just dumpstered the competition in just 2 days of competing. So I have confidence they'll bring it back, but the question is can they recover today and tomorrow, or is it going to take a little bit longer? They want to show up during their sponsor week, so we're going to have to see them change things up. But it is Ashura's story here, and we'll check out our player of the game for our first game of the day here momentarily. And there it is. AJ, 5 kills, 4 assists, 1,100 damage there on the Gibraltar, leading the way. Bring that one up so you can get a good look. And that is a name I want you guys to keep an eye on. Again, I had some interactions with him on Twitter. He's been streaming a ton. He's been grinding, and he believes he and his squad are coming for everybody in Series E. So Asheras, do not forget that name. They're going to continue to show up throughout tonight and throughout open nights during this season. We had Lonely fans take the spot in last season, and it looks like Asher was an early favorite to try and qualify through open qualification this season. So great first game, still 5 more to go though, folks. So let me know in Twitch chat what you're thinking. What did you see here from game 1 that has you maybe picking a different favorite to win open night tonight? Rockstar gotta change things around. So I believe we're ready to go to a quick break. Production just letting me know, and we'll keep things rolling here as Rockstar Week continues.
If I could create the crummy Rockstar, it would be horchata Rockstar. Why? Because who doesn't like horchata with tacos? Oh. You're looking to try Rockstars, head over to walmart.com/esportsarena to get your Rockstar products. My name's Crummy, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Team Rockstar Week.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo. It's Jumbo. It's your snack hit. It's Jumbo Snacks.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E, where we had a monstrous game number 1 for Team Ashura. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile 1 leaderboard to see exactly how many kill points they had. I know towards the end they had at least 9, but maybe they were able to pick up more than that, and it looks like they were 23 points overall. So they had 11 kill points. At one point, took out 2 brains, 1 controller, I believe, as well. And so Team Ashura is off to a great start.
Yeah, an amazing start. But if you really think about it, Team Applejacks isn't too far behind. This is only game 1. But Asturias does put themselves above team number 3, which is ACL Gaming, and they've got a pretty good head start here.
Yeah, the middle of the pack, looking fairly even, as you can see. It is just game number 1, so most of our squads, 18 of our squads actually, sitting on single digits currently. And we still have 5 more left to go, but I am excited to keep an eye on Team Assuras for now. Let's take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moment of game number 1. And there was so much action. I don't know which one you would pick, but it looks like this is the final team fight for Team Assuras here, as this is just the highlight reel for Aj, who just hits shot after shot with this Kraber.
Oh, absolutely. That 290 damage is just so satisfying to see. And they played this corner so well. They had cover. All the teams are so focused on getting to that one spot above that they didn't even look in Team Asura's direction. And they just took it. They just swept it here.
Yeah, it was just absolute madness coming out from Team Asura's. I mean, it looked like they were the Kishin at this point, bringing madness into the world. Ooh, a nice nose scope. I forgot about that for a moment. But that's a way to finish it off, especially for game number one. We'll see, though, if they can continue to do this. But I think some of maybe the worries that I had coming in for this squad have been assuaged, because we were talking about it, right? Arenas, yeah, sure, 3v3, that's great. But it's about positioning as well for the late game when it comes to Battle Royale, knowing when to pick your fights. And it seemed like they did a really good job of navigating that to really have the dominant and winning position here in game number one.
Oh, absolutely. They held their position. They were able to defend it from so many other teams who were trying to push in. And I think that sets kind of an example of how they're going to play tonight, not to jinx anything. So I'm very interested to see how the next few games are going to go because positioning is so important. Being able to get into the final circle is so important because then from there you can just hold and it's kind of free KP.
Yeah, when we join on board with them for game number two, I'm really excited to see where they drop because I think one thing to know is that we remember seeing them throughout the mid game where they came through from the southern side of the map into Frag East. So that means generally they were probably over at like Dome. So they came from basically one of the farthest sides of the ring to be able to make their way into the zone safely. And so their rotation, even though they might have ran into a squad quickly there over at Frag East, they were able to make it into the late game. I don't know if they rotated up through Skyhook or something, but here we go. Game number two, we should be joining on board with Team Asura's, hopefully, to figure out a little bit more about this squad, to get more information about them. So let's go ahead and head into World's Edge.
Looks like teams are dropping pretty evenly here.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, I don't know if it's just like a spectator bug, but we're not really seeing anything. Here it is. Team Pringles find themselves in a fight early on as nades, 165, 6XZs are actually here for the contest. So I believe Team Pringles have been dropping over by Refinery, but this might mean that they were trying to go for a bit of a greedier split going over towards Epicenter. So this should come down to what should be quite possibly a 2v2. You can see Fury is a little bit hesitant to drop down quite yet. And you see one up on the bins. There it is. As he goes for that Sentinel shot. And now they will go ahead and drop down, pick up the banner. They should be able to get the quick res as well. They need to fight this one out as a duo bubble used from either side. And they should be able to finish him off.
The
knocks
melee.
him out.
The absolute disrespect from the melee. So you asked me if I recalled any. Yeah, so you asked me if I recalled any of these names on the roster. I did not realize that Phony and Fury were on Pringles, so now Pringles is officially my team to watch because I absolutely adore Fury and Phony. Fury's sniping skills are just unmatched, and I'm just extra excited to watch them play.
Yeah, with a minute and 50 seconds left to go, though, the zone is pulling down to the south. So they've been slowed down. They also need to get the res off. Here's Team Intel. We remember that they did get challenged early on in this in game number one, but this time around it looks like they have established their position over here at staging. Well, they should be roughly safe, as Verholst was considering going for that early Ultimate Excel, but with him canceling it, they might just be hanging around for a little bit longer. So we'll see. They already look great, by the way. They've got double purples along with that blue on Verholst, so their drop is already paying off for them.
Do you think we'll see another 3-stack gold armor? That was incredible.
Yeah, I think Team Razor come out from Trials. And so they were able to just pick up all the golden loot. You saw there was even the gold mag on the R301 as we joined on board with Team Asura's. And it looks like they're actually dropping over here at Tree. And so that was their rotation path. So they went up through sorting and then to Frag East. And so a very roundabout rotation in game number one to actually make it in, as it looks like Team Asura's. They already had, 23 points heading into this game. Add on another 3 here. And they're getting some decent loot so far. Not the greatest there. The gold mag, not exactly what you're looking for. Oh man, they are kind of getting trolled by these cargo bots.
Well, okay, so the longbow's pretty good though, but I don't know what kind of composition they're going for with gun builds. So I'm assuming they have a lot of time to find loot though that they want because they've been taking such a long route. So I guess that would explain why they're so resourced up.
Yeah, and as you can see, they are just on the edge of this first zone, so they can take their time here. There's a lot of loot to go through. As we join on board with Rockstar, we know that they had the 50-50 in game number 1, but this time around, doesn't seem like, I believe it was Clone Force 32 that challenged them off drop. I could be wrong here. So they're gonna be happy. As you can see, the ring is pulling down hard south. I don't know if we have a ring scan quite yet to have a better idea of where zone number 2 will be ending.
Yeah, depending on all that knowledge, we might see teams starting to move at least towards second circle. But it looks like Rockstar here is just taking their time looting since they're pretty safe. They're already in the first circle. And oh, wow, okay. Rice Krispies treat going right in and finishing a team.
So let's get you a do-over.
Wow, okay, that was fast.
Yeah, we can see why there's a lot of fighting taking place right now. The ring is going to be pulling down south towards sorting slash a lot of this launch site. And unfortunately, we have a lot of disconnects here. So I don't know if we have an issue with the server. And I think... Nope. Okay, they were able to reconnect.
Okay.
Whew, that was a little bit scary.
I was going to say they got the team wipe, and then I really hope they didn't get wiped. But they're good. They're back. Looks like they're healthy. And some nobodies going for this World Care Package drop. I can't tell you the amount of times I've opened one of these and not gotten a weapon and been so disappointed. But looks like this one will have a Prowler, which will let their Gibby cruise in. Probably take more close range fights, especially with his gun shield.
Ooh, Applejacks about to get wiped out. I believe there's just one left for them. It should be Blueberry Smalls. We're already down to 15 squads. A lot of our partner squads have been taken out as well. Blueberry Smalls is actually still alive. As he gets to kill on to one of our open teams. Team Intel tried to show up for the third party, but Blueberry Smalls is still alive for Applejacks for the time being. As now we are down to 14 squads, so much faster than game number 1 here in game number 2.
Yeah, I'm noticing a pattern with these games. Everyone likes to fight, and I love that. Honestly, I'm all for these fast-paced matches because, you know, it gets kind of boring waiting till halftime.
Yeah, I mean, typically that's what it is on these open nights, right? Like, you know that there's a certain amount of maybe skill difference amongst a lot of the squads, the open squads, but you know that there are other squads that you would have to respect, like Team Asuras right now, who are over here at launch site currently. They didn't have that long of a trek to go, but for the most part, you kind of have to play like you are better than everyone, because a lot of our partner squads are going to play that way, and they're going to start running away with a lot of kills. Team Rockstar, though, getting pushed, and now, ooh, it seems like we're having a lot of issues with that server. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, as it seemed one of our spectators just got disconnected from it, and it seemed like a lot of connection issues for our partners and our players as well. So I'm going to wait for the admins to make a call on that one to see exactly where we go from here. We're going to go ahead and take a short break while we figure that out. And so don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kimchi Lee, and this season, there's no slowing down Team Rockstar.
Stick. It was 63 though, hitting big. Peacekeeper in the backhand for Kimchi as well. I love that little finger roll grenade frag over towards the side. The armor swap as well. That grenade is going to hit, but I believe a third party is coming through, so they're going to bail on this one. Another nice, really nice grenade. The prediction grenade. It's burning. It's burning. It hurts.
If you're ever looking for a drink or something to give you that extra juice during your gaming sessions, make sure you check out walmart.com/esports arena and go get some Rockstars. I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week.
It's refreshing, refreshingly sweet, but without sugar, 0 calorie treat. Now all our top fresh flavored splash.
It's fruit freshin'.
Cheez-It snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy.
and I just want to keep eating it. And eating it.
They love them. Snapped. So good we may run out of cheese.
Stack Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen and I didn't listen.
Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavor and barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind to shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Hey, what's up? I'm Crummy, and if you want to play like me, you gotta drink a lot of Rockstar. Boom, boom, pow, pow!
That's going to be a Tomer Simpson, and that's going to be a flank coming from Vets R Us. We already know they're having a solid game. Talked and then Wrench. It looks like you're talking about they are out of resources.
He can hit the banner right there, but he cannot. Vets R Us.
You're looking to try Rockstars? Head over to walmart.com/esports arena to get your Rockstar products. I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Team Rockstar Week.
Hey, what's up? I'm Kimchi Lee, and when I'm not playing Apex Legends...
Stick, it was 63 though, hitting big. Peacekeeper in the backhand for Kimchi as well.
I love to power lift. I got into powerlifting back in the day when I got my very first gym membership and ran into this guy that was probably 85 years old, and he was still killing it, still crushing it. And I asked him, you know, how is he so strong, you know, this late in the game? And he told me that he had been powerlifting ever since he was a kid and that I should try it out too. So I looked at this guy who like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z straight up, and I said, I'm gonna be like this guy, I'm gonna start powerlifting. Competing was awesome, kind of just like in Apex Legends. It's at those competitions, you're going against the best of the best. So what I absolutely love about powerlifting over Apex is that there is no RNG involved. It's just how much hard work that you're putting in and day out at the gym. Were you sweating? Were you pushing yourself? Were you going when you didn't want to? Were you going when you were tired, when you were beat up, beat down, didn't matter, you were going? That's what I loved. It was all about grit and whether or not you can do it. Whenever I take too many days off, I start to feel sluggish and slow, and I feel like it actually starts to affect my gameplay. Fun fact, people who are physically active and stay fit are actually going to perform better in video games. My name is Kimchi Lee, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Oh.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats. A little love when it's needed.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Eat your cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
You want to zoom this in? I'm gonna do it. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, newest merch.
Yo, Bundy, where do you get this merch, dude?
Esportsarena.com/shop.
All-Star.
Looks sick, Bundy.
I know. What's up, gamers? Conniekin's here. Behind the scenes. Look at this. This is like a camera.
We're doing a photo shoot today.
Stand loose. You're a goofy guy.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's cute. That's a wallpaper. I don't see anybody else's esports org with this many sponsors. That's all I'm saying. What? You don't like that? Why are you laughing? Do like, I don't know, is there like a Fortnite character that you like that doesn't take out a storyline?
It's the eye when it comes to production and photography.
Yeah, put the Nintendo Direct right there.
Area.
What's up? Look at this crew neck, Connie. Show me this crew neck. Look at the embroidery. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Connie, how do those feel on your legs?
I love them, dude. I could literally live in these. Howdy, he said hi. GameCube controller. Get out of here.
You wanted to ask
this.
Phone and I just saw it.
Oh my god.
Like this thing right here. You get that on camera?
Watch your fingers.
Yes.
Put the camera down. Can you guys put these cameras down and like actually help Kyle?
Buddy, here, you can just take this. No, Brandon, keep vlogging.
Yeah, I don't know why he's thinking that. This is...
We got Tyler posing over here looking like a badass. We got Kyle doing some great shots where he pulls back and...
3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. You know, it's just a whole vibe, Connie. Gaming, dog. Gaming.
camera? In the box?
In the box. You think the elevator's working?
No.
No.
Scary.
It was really dangerous. That was some Final Destination.
Yes.
Show us the picture.
No.
Hey guys, we're gonna.
Yeah, we did it. We made it. Right before the sun.
540.
Hey, shake it, kiddo. Love Dad. Whoa.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies treats. A little love when it's needed.
All right, welcome back to Series E, guys. Stella here joining me, of course, throughout the night. And just a quick update. So, because of the issues that we had with game number 2 and the servers just absolutely being set on fire there, we're actually going to be voiding out game number 2. And to keep up with the schedule, we'll be actually moving on straight to game number 3. And so I completely understand a lot of teams were going down. And due to our time constraints, we have to just move on. So tonight is going to be, I believe, just 5 games scored throughout. And so that means for a team like, Asurus, I don't know if you're happy about that, because then that means also, less time for teams to try and catch up, but you still need to basically just show up every 4 games. I mean, that's kind of what happens when you have a shorter format, right? When it's 5 games over 6 games, sure, it's only 1 game difference, but it means that a lot of other squads have an opportunity to have a really big game or 2, and then they can be in the top 2, top 3. So heading into game number 3, I mean, what can we expect so far? Are Team Pringles still your team to look out for, Stella?
Yes, I'm biased, so I'm saying Team Pringles because I love Fury. Just their energy, the team energy. I know it's not the full team, my little phony from ALGS, but you know what? It's got 2 of my favorite people on there, so yeah. Y'all can fight me.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, we're just gonna go ahead and redirect all the ire of Reddit onto us right now. We got the biased caster, and of course, we had the unprofessional caster just calling all of them some nobodies here already. And it's only we've only casted 1 game so far.
It's okay.
But game number 3. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you mentioned like 1 game being out, like, it's still 5 games, but every like we said, like we keep reiterating, every point counts. So an entire game being gone, it just means that these teams are gonna have to get their strategies together, play a little bit tighter, because now there are only 5 other games left, or 4 actually, right?
Yeah, 4 more games left here.
Yes. I could do math.
The math can be confusing. I mean, I know.
Yes.
I've been doing this for like 5-6 years now, and yeah. Doing math anytime. It doesn't matter if it's like arithmetic or like, if it's calculus, you're just going to get it wrong. Like it's some sort of like esports law at this point when it comes to casting and trying to do math on stream. But this is also kind of like a reset for a lot of the teams that ended up going down early on there in game number 2. I mean, we saw Team Pringles particularly were able to take out a squad over at Epicenter, and that was, I believe, 6xZs. So it's almost like a redo for 6xZs going into game number 3, see if they change up anything, if they want to try and take Epicenter there, or maybe they just back away and try to take something like Survey Camp instead, where they won't have to fight Team Pringles early on. We did see as well, Team Asurus also got into a 50-50, I believe, at Tree. So I don't know which squad that was. I don't remember which squad that was, but maybe they changed their game plan going into game number 3. But it looks like we do have our next lobby set up. Thank you all, everyone at home who have been patiently waiting for us. We did have a long break there because of game number 2, but here we go. We got the action. We're heading into World's Edge once again with the fly-through. And game number 3, we're seeing everyone going to their particular drops this time around. I'm keeping an eye on like the northeast side where we saw some early fighting, the 50-50 taking place over at Refinery. And it looks like Team Pringles might actually be free there. And speaking of another 50-50, we had game number 2, which, remember, got voided out. Team Asurus are not getting contested here over at Tree.
Yeah, so I guess they do prefer the tree landing. I mean, there's pretty decent loot there. I don't like landing there myself because it's just a bit open, but Oh, and looks like Team Rockstar is currently in a fight here. I'm not quite sure who they're fighting, but hopefully we can get a little closer look. It looks like they are full sending.
Yeah, we have a lot of fighting taking place across the map right now as Team Rockstar, Kimchi Lee, and Strictly have been cracked, but Crummy is full health at this point. Does drop down with the EVA 8, or excuse me, with the 30-30 repeater and connects with those hipfire shots, taking out this squad. Team Rockstar are going to be happy with that one, swapping off onto the blue. There we go. Go back to that purple. Just heal that one up. And this time around, it looks like we have a very similar ring to what happened in last game. So the southern side, train side, sorting factory, a lot of this is going to be highly contested. On board with Team Intel. Here in game number 3, their loot not looking as good as what we had in game number 2, but they're going to go ahead and just push in the train for now. They can utilize these replicators if they have the time to try and upgrade those to blues, but of course you have to be careful. As you can see, the scan's going down, and it looks like train is going to be largely free for them.
Yeah, train yard is such a high point of contention that you just have to be so careful with staying here for as long as you do. So hopefully they do get those shields. Oh, looks like Skittle actually did find a blue shield, so now it's just up to Verhulst. Sorry, the name was very small.
This time around, the ring will be pulling a bit more to the west there. As you can see, it's going to be a tree, quite possibly a launch site ending. And so holding on to your early position is going to be very important for a team like Asurus. Playing out of tree can be incredibly strong. You can see Applejacks now moving to the southwest side of Sorting Factory with early priority on this rotate. They could try to take a building over at tree, but we'll see if Asurus allow them to do that. Team Razor, though, they were the ones that were completely golded out on game number 1, I believe, and now they're making their way over to Trials to show us exactly why Trials is so strong.
It's such an interesting strategy. I don't normally see competitive players going and choosing Bloodhound's Trials because it just takes so much time, causes a lot of noise, and it's just kind of all up in the open when someone looks down on you. Or looks down at you from the top, not looking down on you.
Yeah. With the ring pulling down to the south, though, they should be relatively safe there. You know, not too many teams can actually be in the area. Lava Fissure typically won't rotate up there to try and go for it just because you don't want to fight a team that might have already taken it while you guys were looting, and they have like the equipment advantage. But here's 6XZs, which I believe they did get into that fight with Pringles earlier on. There were trades back and forth, but I don't know if maybe both teams decided to just back away and reset at this point. We do have 6XZs, though. They feel like they have the advantage, and they are now hunting after what looks to be a duo. You can see the pings going down. That squad hasn't made it too far away from them. Goopy does not have his jump pad quite yet, but he is on that Octane, so he can just stim up and start chasing after them.
And it looks like Nades is in ultimate form, so they are full chasing here. And is this Rice Krispie Treats with a solo, just a rat?
Yeah, so we have our first Tomcat rat cam is Lightstar Joe. Oh, he just looks so sad looking into the corner by himself. This is going to be difficult because this is a very high traffic area for this ring.
Yeah, and it's Circle 1 and he's already alone. It's going to be pretty hard. World's Edge is probably the best map to rat out on, but this is going to be very difficult because these teams have eagle eyes and they might be able to spot him in a rotate.
Yeah, they also have the All Eye, or Godfather's All Eye. Oh man, I've already forgotten the name. All Father's Eye. I don't remember anymore. I don't remember. The Godfather All Eyes? I don't know. But yeah, you have so many Bloodhounds that can just scan you, and as soon as someone sees it's a solo, that's a free KP, right? And so you can easily get pushed.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Bloodhound.
Here comes Clone Force 32, though.
Did they see someone?
They did go out for the scan, but I don't think they actually got anyone. But there is a team moving through Lava Fissure right now, and so they're kind of running parallel. And it's going to be Team Razor that are here. Hakula already has an idea. He spots one out, and oh my goodness, the team fire almost got the knock onto that Jibby. As you can see, after just about 2 bullets, they hit for flesh. Defensive bombardment's going to come down from that Gibraltar and actually connects one onto Zera Tricky. They want to try and get this kill. They know that they're already playing on the edge, and here comes Hakula. He's going to go ahead and throw down that jump pad, and they got the knock into Shosuke. And it looks like there's another player just below them as well, or that might be the knocked player. It is. So Team Razor were able to catch them out on the late rotate.
It looks like they are full pushing. They're not stopping just to finish that down. It looks like they do want that fight. Oh, but they see another team, so they're pulling back, and I think they're going to try and secure this KP here. Yep. And I think they're just going to regroup and try to see what happens with these other teams.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, of course, they're playing on the edge here. They're not too far away from the safety of the first zone, so they can take their time. And they know that if they run up against the team, there's a high chance that it will be that duo from the team that they just encountered. So they'll take their time here. They have the high ground, good vantage point to look around, and their equipment already looks fantastic. So they are raring for another fight. As you can see, the scans going down over towards the countdown area, not finding much out of there. I can't imagine too many other teams will be late rotating through here.
Yeah, you really don't want to be one of the last teams caught out because then everyone's just going to have an eye on you. And it looks like they are looking towards train just to see if there are any teams there. And we're actually not sure if any... Looks like there is still a team there. Who was it again that was there earlier? Can you remind me?
I believe it was Team Intel, but Team Razor have to be careful. There's another squad just to their south as well, and Rockstar is coming in. Hackulo getting cracked. This is going to be forced to pop that bat for now. Team Razor eyeing the squad up, and I'm wondering what's going through their mind, right? Like, you can't imagine that in this zone there's this team that's going to be extremely strong playing up there, but it's Team Intel that should be there. So if we have a fight, I would be very surprised. But here's Team Rockstar. They've made their way into launch site. They didn't have that long of a rotation for themselves coming all the way over from Lava City.
Yeah, it looks like they are now holding this position and just trying to gatekeep anyone who tries to come in from the back. But there might be some late rotations. It looks like there might be a team above as well, so there might be a fight here.
Oh wait, Team Intel
Oh,
actually
here's your
are
Team
down
Intel.
at train. They're all the way over by Tree Thermal Station Connector, and they picked
Oh my
up the
God.
3. That's going to be 2 drains, 1 controller getting
Beautiful.
knocked out.
What a beautiful melee finish right there.
This is a pretty good spot for them to control this choke.
Yeah, I was a little worried. I thought that bombardment was another team coming in. Oh, it looks like they are trying to come in, but it looks like they're just trying to get next circle. So they might be able to hold this position, maybe push late into tree, but they're going to have to move pretty quickly because they did make a lot of noise here, and a lot of teams are going to start pulling in to this one location.
Team Intel, that's some actually very good info for them to have, that there is going to be a squad up to their north playing that high ground ledge. We'll see if they can maybe come around and get the flank on that squad who are just trying to control the choke over there just above that train tunnel high ground area. For the time being though, Intel can play of course right here on the edge as Team Rockstar trying to hold down their building. The nades are starting to come in. Utility is being expended. Whatever squad they're facing off with, as you can see, strictly setting up the crossfire. But you got to be careful. You can't tunnel vision on one side of this building for too long. There's so many ways in. As you can see now, Crummy backing away to cover the other entrances and make sure that they don't get flanked.
Oh, absolutely. This is one of the harder places to defend, especially since there's so many different entrances. You can even go from the right and just not have any sights on a team that's moving from that side. So it looks like they are posting up. They're just staying vigilant. Oh, and Crummy sees a team fighting in the back. I don't think they're going to
He did just use his jump pad, so yeah, there's no real opportunity for Rockstar to go for it. Plus, they don't want to give away this spot later on. If the ring continues to pull over here towards launch, this can be one of the strongest positions to have.
Absolutely. I mean, it gives you full advantage of people behind and in front of you. And, oh, looks like Clone Force 32 is actually in a shootout here. I'm not sure which team that is, but it looks like they're just kind of... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, this was the squad that's controlling that choke that I was talking about, where Team Intel might want to deal with them a little bit later on. But right now, Clone Force 32 are just doing a good job of just keeping everyone away. I imagine that actually might be Team Razor that might be coming up behind them. You saw them hitting for the purples and such. And with this zone closing up, they need to get in. So Clone Force 32, they might have to face off against, I believe it was a gold and a purple armor on the other side. Well, they're still sitting on triple blues. As you can see, Decoys is doing a good job of keeping an eye on that choke to the north of that area to see if that team backed away, kind of giving away intentions of how they want to play this. If they don't go for that choke right now, that means that the squad that they saw earlier on will be committing to this side and will be pushing into them.
Yeah, it's such a smart move to keep at least one person scouting behind you. And it looks like Backburner in a fight, in sorting, one of the worst hallways to get into a fight, because there is just no clear way to use cover. It looks like they're getting naded out, and they're going to get full push by a team, and they're just not healthy enough. I don't know if they're going to be able to win this 2v. Now it's a 1v3.
That's going to be Team Applejacks coming in with a third party, I believe. No, they're actually involved in another fight. It's going to be Team Aftermath. Yeah, taking out Backburner here. And right now, they're pretty happy to be in this position. As you can see, the ring ends right there, and we will have a better idea of where this one pulls, and they're actually safe for this zone.
You could say the aftermath of that fight was pretty great for them. Okay, I'm going to leave now.
They've got the purples definitely here. The math adds up. At this point, though, it should be slowing down. There's a lot of buildings still left inside this zone. You have all the buildings inside of Sorting Factory. You have a lot of launch site buildings along with the tree buildings. So I don't expect too much action to be taking place. With 15 squads left at the end of round number 3, this is a bit more what we're used to in terms of like the pacing of games. Here's Team Intel making this push up against the squad that was controlling this choke now, and this is what I was saying. Team Intel are going to have to deal with them, and they finally push the issue. Looks like we have multiple squads in the area. As you can see, that Bloodhound scan going down. Skittle Cakes trying to find the right-hand flank, but he got turned on by 2 players. The trade is there for Team Intel, and now Clone Force 32 are down to just Decoys, left as a solo now. Team Intel, they know they have the man advantage. They go for the full reset. They should be able to get the res onto Skittles as well, and it looks like Decoys is just going to go ahead and book it here.
Oh,
Here
and
comes
Team Razor
though,
coming
with the
in,
flank.
trying to third party get as many kills as they can, hoping that this team is lower on team health, but I think... Oh, and he finishes... Wow, okay. Hakulo finishing the kill on the last team fight, but I don't think they're going to get the third party that they wanted. They only secured 1 KP.
Yeah, I believe one more member of Clone Force 32 is still alive. He actually got one of the kills onto Team Intel. I believe Dupe was the one that went down to him. But right below them, he should be playing off the train tracks. We'll see if if Baby Tuli gets the scan off to find him as we join on board with Team Asuras. Like we said, they were basically in position. The ring pulled down towards them early on, so they didn't have to move very far. They're sitting on double purples along with the blue for Aj, and it's going to be the Kraber in the hands of Nano, surprisingly enough. And right now, it's all about playing defensive for them. As you can see, they're spread out to cover all of their angles. Nano making sure they don't get flanked from behind.
Asuras has just had some of the best decision-making plays in the game that I've seen. And now I think they're sitting with a Kraber. Did I see that correctly? Yes, they have a Kraber. So now they're just going to be able to defend their position particularly well. And you know, the Volt's range is absolutely insane.
It's got the gold mag on it as well. So ultimately he did end up picking that one up. But yeah, the Volt as an SMG is very favorable. I mean, we got to see on its initial release, basically everyone, that was the meta for it. The scans are coming out. We've got some nobodies playing the train tracks just outside of Sorting Factory right now. 3 nades cruising. Really? Did you need to use all of those? Well, they're going to try and roll one in as the doors do get griefed, but they know they have a full squad beneath them. As now Team Cheezer are trying to make the push. I believe this is going to be Team Rockstar on the other side. Defensive bombardment along with the bubbles, and oh my goodness, Mullis almost got the 1 clip, but they trade back and forth as Strictly goes down. So it's down to a 2v2 unless Kimchi Lee with defensive bombardment gets the kill onto Finicky. It's going to be Cheez-It down to just Golden. They finish them off. Team Rockstar will hold them off for now. And it seems like they will be safe. No third parties coming in to take them on.
Yeah, so Rockstar's been able to hold this position really well. And honestly, if Cheez-Its had played that a little bit closer and used the Gibby bubble a little bit better, they may have been able to take out Rockstar here. But Rockstar just had the better plays and played the Gibby bubble perfectly.
back on board with some nobodies. They might have two teams. As you can see, one below them, and then one inside the building just to their northeast right now. Protectable, I think he was considering maybe going for a kidnap play. We'll see if they set that one up. He does have his port. All he needs to do is just jump into the air, pop that port, and try to steal someone up. With 32 seconds left to go, would be really nice to alleviate the pressure, especially on this side of the zone.
You know, I was just thinking, what happened to a rat? Did we ever see what happened to them?
I think we still have a rat, just a different one. I believe from Clone Force 32 might still be alive.
Okay. I just wanted to check and see how they were doing, you know?
Yeah.
Looks like
The rat life is a hard life.
It is. It looks like some nobodies is able to get some good damage here, trying to secure their red shields towards endgame. This circle is going to be pretty rough. That's an open area towards tree, so that team might be caught out.
Ooh, good damage coming across from Team Nobodies right now as they are definitely working towards that red Evo for themselves. There's a full squad beneath them inside the car. You can see the zone slowly closing and getting rid of a lot of these buildings. There's still plenty of area to be held, though. As you can see, so many squads inside Sorting Factory right now, as looks like Team Rockstar might be having a bit of difficulty making their way on out. Applejacks finds one knock onto Kimchi Lee, and they do have that height, and this is them just holding out in one of the stronger positions here, especially for the zone that they got. For a team that was holding in Sorting Factory, getting this priority position is definitely easy, but now they need to find the kills to back it up.
Absolutely, and now it looks like the circle's pulling in the opposite direction that they expected, so it's just going to be a messy fight for area dominance here. Looks like Applejacks is trying to hold out this other team. Is that Rockstar?
Not sure. Rockstar did lose out on one, I believe, and now Strictly is down. So Rockstar is still below them, as Crummy is the only one up for Team Rockstar, and he actually somehow survives, taking out Team Pop-Tarts. Might be able to get the res onto Strictly here, but he needs to do it quickly. And it looks like he should be safe to do so, as Applejacks are actually dealing with another squad moving through now through Sorting Factory. But here comes very shortly in 30 seconds the zone, so they need to heal up quickly, and they need to figure out how they're going to deal with Applejacks. In this next zone, it seems like a little bit of the platform is actually available to play, and so Applejacks won't be forced to jump down quite yet. And so dealing with these squads is going to be super important.
Yeah, I think once the circle starts closing, Applejacks might be in the best position yet, because they can still hold the high ground. Is that a res beacon? Are they actually trying to get the res beacon off?
Yep. I mean, Rockstar, this is the only opportunity to try and do it with this next zone. Really don't have the time to try. But here we go. Kimchi Lee getting back on in. They do have the jump pad set up.
They did get the respawn.
Will he be able to get any kind of additional loot for him? That's the interesting part right now, as it looks like Team Asura's got knocked out. Team Razor picking that one up.
Looks like Team Razor might be the team to watch in this last fight, since they do hold position and they can see where everyone is rotating. They're just underneath Applejack, so they might be in the best position unless they push out like that, in which case they might expose themselves.
Applejack's, though, still in the middle of a fight right now, as all the teams are making their way out of Sorting Factory. They've lost out on one. It's going to be Jumbo's Skovsky dropping down to the low, and he will fall. 6xZs to pick that one up. But Rockstar now find themselves in a fight. It's all up to Crummy once again with the Eva A trades back. Might be able to finish him off. No, Zeratricky survives. He's got the gold bag res for his team, getting them back up as quickly as possible here. No team putting on any pressure for them. Zeratricky instantly swiveling around. Defensive bombardment will take out Baby Tuli, but Zeratricky is still alive. 10 seconds away from his barrier, but he does have that knockdown shield. Another gold bag res onto Tuli to get him back up, and here comes 6xZs with the full send now in the 2v3. They got the knock on the Zeratricky, but Baby Tuli answers on back. 6xZs will knock out Team Razor. Now we're down to our top 3 squads, but 6xZs need to get this res before the defensive bombardment comes down.
There have been so many defensive bombardments in that one area. Oh, it looks like some nobody's coming in, trying to clean this up. Oof, but they're going to have to play
Cruisin'
that
almost
dome.
goes down.
I don't know who's in a worse position right here.
I think some nobodies might be in the best because it should be a 3v2v2 in their favor as they do finish them off, and it is going to be a duo as that last squad. 6xz's going down in third, and now as the final ring closes, some nobodies with the man advantage to try and finish this one off. Not the highest point game for them, as it looked like it's Aftermath that are left here as a duo doing some decent damage. As you can see, Cruisin' was brought down to about 60 HP. Here comes the port play out from Protectful just to set up another angle for them to get right on top of him. He'll be able to back off if he wants to. Eva 8, and he goes down, bringing this one down to a 2v2. They have the instant thirst as well. The triple take, though, getting the knock, and now they're going to push forward with the bubble to finish this one off, but this one's much closer than it really had to be. It's a 2v2, some nobodies versus Aftermath. The HP advantage going over to some nobodies now as they do get that bat off for Prideful. They're just going to play ring around the rosy here, trying to buy time for this defensive bombardment, but the Eva 8 shots aren't connecting. They lose out on one. It's down to a 1v1, and Cruisin' will clutch up for some nobodies, and they'll take the win here in game number 3. I don't have cam.
Oh, what an amazing play. That was that was so many defensive bombardments I've seen in my life. I can't even say it anymore. That was just a lot. So many Gibby ults in that one area. I honestly didn't know what team was going to win it because at some point, every team was contesting each other. I love seeing exciting endgame fights like that.
Yeah, and you saw Applejacks ran into some trouble. They needed to deal with the squads that were in, I believe, they were in one of the most dominant positions, but they just didn't deal with the squads fast enough when they had the opportunity to try and clear out Sorting Factory. And I think they could have had the win there. But that is the end of game number 3. We're going to go ahead and take a short break. And when we get back, it'll be the second half of Series E Open Night here for Rockstar Week right after this.
I started playing Apex like Season 2 on Xbox. And honestly, I was just looking for a new game, so I downloaded Apex because it was free. Started playing it.
Towards that team, they are. So there's the full send. There's the finish possibly on this. Actually, just a knock onto Blight.
My go-to legend. I like to stay within the meta, so either Octane, Gibby, Bloodhound, and Wraith's fun sometimes, but not really. And gun combo, I like the 301 Eva. That's everyone's go-to pretty much.
Vets R Us gets that finish on the moon. That's pretty big. Crummy gets the armor swap. That's going to be a Tomer Simpson, and that's going to be a flank coming in from Vets R Us.
I knew Kimchi from like a while back. We used to rank. I didn't really know Strictly. I don't even think we've ever played. That was actually our first time playing, and we signed up for fun and we qualified in 2 days.
But it's Vets R Us that have the full reset. Kimchi Lee hasn't healed up yet, though. This jump pad has been used, and now they're going to go ahead and full send it, knowing it's the 2v1. Nebusona taking so much damage there, and it's going to be the final melee.
If you're looking to try Rockstars, head over to walmart.com/esports arena to get your Rockstar products. My name's Crummy, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Team Rockstar Week.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I missed you a little bit. I know we had a bit of a long break there. Do want to apologize once again and say thank you. Appreciate you guys being patient with us, dealing with a little bit of a server issue there in the original game too, but we got through it, got back into game, and got another game under our belt. Our second game of the day of what will be now 5 overall, and some nobodies taking the win, and that's 2 open teams in a row, Ashura's and some nobodies here. And now it's up to our partnered squads. You guys only have 3 games left on the day, and we need a response here. We saw Team Intel and Team Razor starting the day with wins last Wednesday on the first pro night of the season, and it's certainly been a stumble from the partnered squads here today. But let's talk about some nobodies. Big win there, bit of a clutch at the end in the 1v2, taking the fight, and they grabbed that game. Let's check out our player of the game here for the second game of the day, and it's Crew. 3 kills. Look at that, just under 1,800 damage, and it's back-to-back Gibraltar players here on the day, so we absolutely love to see that. So yeah, 3 kills, no assists, but getting the kills when they needed, doing great damage there. 1,800 damage is certainly a good number to be hitting there for Crew, and that's some nobody's getting rolling now. Big gap to make up. We checked the Mobile One leaderboard after our first game, and Ashras were sitting at 23 points. It was an 11-point gap between themselves and Team Applejacks that were sitting in second at 12. Now, we'll have to see how this shakes up. I'm not exactly sure where Ashras went out in this game. Maybe they were still able to grab a few KP, maybe some placement points here to add to those 23 points from game number 1. Now, the question is, how has some Nobody's been able to close that gap? Has anyone else been able to kind of jump into that conversation above that 12-point mark to make things interesting? But 3 more games to go today, ladies and gentlemen, and it promises to be a fun run to the finish. Will Team Rockstar jump out? It's Rockstar week. They got to get it rolling. If you guys need some Rockstars, make sure to go over to walmart.com/esportsarena. And also, if you notice, I'm rocking the brand new Rockstar jersey here. Looking good. I love these things. Very comfortable, very warm. If you guys want to grab yourself one of those, shop.esportsarena.com. Head over there, grab yourself one of these today. We also got some other merch over there as well. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, it's our third game of the day. 5 on the day. Number 3 comes next.
Knocked him, got him. All right, last one. Do you see him?
Was it a stick? It was.
Ping him, ping him.
Though, hitting big.
Nice.
Peacekeeper in the back.
Good crack.
As well. I love that.
60 flash.
Finger roll grenade, frag over towards the side. The armor swap.
Good knock, good knock. Get the last one, last one. She's got self-res.
So they're gonna bail on this one. Nice.
All dead? Good job, boys. Let's go. If you're ever looking for a drink or something to give you that extra juice during your gaming sessions, make sure you check out walmart.com/esportsarena and go get some Rockstars. My name is Kimchi Lee, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week. All right, boys, I'm gonna bubble up. All right, we're bubble fighting. I'm switching controller.
All right, welcome back, guys. As we are heading into the second half of the evening, we got game number 4, 5, and 6 on deck now. As we need to go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see who is currently up top right now. Heading into game number 3, we had Team Asurus in first with like a 11-point lead, I believe, 23 points overall. But we had them going down around 10th place, and overall they were only able to add on about 4 points. Or excuse me, actually 1 point. So Team Some Nobodies with that win actually will put themselves into first place, and now Team Razor find themselves in third, just 1 point off from Team Asurus.
Yeah, I also want to point out Team Rockstar was in 8th place in game 1, and so they were actually able to move up four slots. So I think that's a pretty good improvement. So if they keep playing like that, I think they might be able to take the number 1 spot. But you really got to give credit to Some Nobodies for being able to secure that much KP and the win, because now they're at 27. That was a huge move from them.
Yeah, very big game for Some Nobodies at this point, but we have 3 teams in hot contention for the top 2. Remember, it's only the top 2 that place into the money today. First place will walk away with $350, and second place will walk away with $150. So it's only the top 2 that matter. So Team Razor, well, they have a little bit of work to do, but let's go ahead and talk about the little middle of the pack as we talk about the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 3. So we have a pretty decent point spread, but this is going to be the final fight. Some Nobodies. This looked a lot scarier than it had to be, as you can see. Protectful trying to go in aggressive, and was wondering where the heck the rest of the squad was as he tries to hold the line. I think he just overthought things, or I didn't know. I didn't note if he had any ammo left in the R301 or what. Why did he swap off? I mean, I'm not going to take that time to swap weapons there.
Yeah, I think he just wasn't prepared to see them right there. And when he did, he was like, oh, crap. And his team just wasn't ready to push in. And then when they do, they work together, as you can see here, just using the Gibby shield, being able to use the bombardment, trying to do everything they can just to finish. And you know what? The teamwork, they pushed together and they ended up making it work, even with it being a 2v2 when they could have had a 3v2.
Yeah, cruising, clutching up there at the end, but a 3v2 going down to a 1v1 is definitely not how you want to clean that up. So some things to look at as, you want to improve as a team over the season, especially as an open registration team, as you can see with that win, though. Like we said, some nobodies now are in the lead. It's only a 2-point lead over Team Asurus. Team Razor are just a point below them. So a very hot contested top 3 as we are heading into game number 4 back onto World's Edge right now. We'll see if we continue to have a lot of these early 50-50 fights. We know that Team Pringles, they've been in a lot of fights so far on the northeast side of the map. We'll see if that continues here in game number 4.
I just want them to have one really, really good game. I just want that for them. Totally not biased or anything.
And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and full send, dropping as a 3, contesting this squad. We do have Phony setting up a cross angle on the high ground now as the scan comes out. And so they have to be careful in how they approach this. And they caught one running uphill by himself. They get the crack. They don't have quite the weapons that they want, but they have... It looks like one isolated just on the other side, 2 up top, though. The bubble has been used as they're trying to chase after this kill now. They've got to be careful of the drop down. They turn onto the duo, and they get the knock onto Mitten and Nades, and they will be able to finish off 6xZs. So Team Pringles survive the early game this time around, and now it's their moment to try and answer back. Rice Krispie Treats, though, over here by Domar, getting contested. Kenji and Etymology have gone down, but it's stopped down to a 2v1 as they go for the res. Lightstar Joe backing away, allowing Clinical to go down. Strictly picks that one up. It's Rockstar coming in for the third party.
We were just talking about how Rockstar was able to move up 4 different ranks in one game, and you can see that they're just getting a little bit more confident. They want extra fights so they can secure that spot. And like you said, it's just top place 1 and 2 that get money today, so they really want to get at least top 2.
Yeah, I love how quickly they were able to respond to the 50-50 they saw. Here's Team Razor, though, now going for trials. This is what's surprising for me, because Team Liquid is the squad that generally gets this, but it looks like someone might have actually taken it. You can see the passive coming down there from that Bloodhound. So now the scan goes out. They actually don't hit anyone with it, and they will go ahead and drop in. So it looks like someone already did trials and got out. So Team Razor are not happy about this one. Oh boy, Zero Tricky's got to be careful. The team's actually still lurking there. They can show up at any moment. You can see them creeping up.
Yeah, at this moment, this area, you have to be so careful because any noise you make will instantly draw people's attention. And since the circle is actually in countdown, and they might actually get run up on here.
This is scary. There's an opportunity for them to get pinched. As you can see, another person was showing up through Skyhook now on board with Team Applejacks. They've already looted up Sorting Factory, and there's 30 seconds left to go before the zone closes up. So they're pretty happy with this loot. They've got double blues along with the purple onto double O negative here as they make their way on through Harvester Connector. We're already down to 16 squads. So the action picking up once again, just like in game number 1.
Yeah, I feel like more people are feeling confident about dropping and taking fights a little bit earlier, which is really nice because it means that if they do win these fights, they feel a little bit better about the rest of the match. And it looks like AJ was given the blue shield so he can try to build that up with his 30-30 repeater.
And we'll see if they run into anyone as they make their way through Frag West, but you have to imagine at this point, most teams have already moved through, and this is actually a pretty slow timing for rotates for Team Applejacks. We're seeing now as teams are starting to actually get into position for the late game. We've got a squad fighting over the beacon. 2 squads actually. As Shosuke might find themselves into a fight up against Team Pringles over by Survey Camp. And so now that's what we're working off of. There's a small chance maybe this one goes over towards Skyhook, but I think it's a very small chance at this point.
Yeah, those survey camp circles are usually really hard to figure out positioning because there's only so much cover that you can take there. And taking buildings can be pretty risky as well. Looks like Team Razor Thule still on a white shield, which doesn't look too great, especially since some of these squads have already gotten into fights and have damage on their shields.
I'm not sure exactly what they're trying to do here, as Team Intel have made their way into Skyhook, and they almost got the crack onto this Wraith. We'll continue to chase after him. That's going to be Tech going down.
Beautiful.
2 brains, 1 controller, not having the greatest days so far. As Intel, they're going to continue to finish off the rest of Team 2 brains, 1 controller. That's going to be the +3 for Team Intel, and they survived the day. Here's Team Pringles. Like I said, they're up in that survey camp area. They were looking at trying to get that survey beacon spot. You can see a lot of these teams seeing the zone pulling far, far north like this. We know how strong a spot that respawn beacon can be.
Yeah, and it looks like they know that there are teams around the area, so they're trying to play cautiously. But this particular spot right here isn't exactly where you want to be, so they need to figure out where to go and strategize pretty quickly before their teams push in.
Yeah, they're just biding their time for now. I mean, it's still early on. This is round 1, closing 15 squads left. That charge rifle with 20 shots total there, as Applejacks are making their move to try and get a position inside survey camp. So it looks like they've successfully locked down a building for themselves here. So they should be relatively happy for the next 7 minutes or so, and not too much action should be really coming their way. As there's still a good amount of teams that are currently playing the edge and walking in right now, but it looks like they're not happy with that spot. So they're starting to ping out the high ground rocks just to their east, so that might be their backup plan if they don't like this position here.
Yeah, so this area, you really need to pay attention to the little rocks that are around these buildings, because that might be the play. It gives you height, it lets you see where everyone is at, but the only thing is it could also leave you exposed. So, like I was saying earlier, this zone is just incredibly hard to defend. Looks like Applejacks does know that they are surrounded, so they're kind of confined to this building right now. And it's kind of unfortunate. I wish they had a caustic so they could play a little bit more confidently in the building.
They will have their jump pad in about 20 seconds, so if they don't like this spot, they can move, but I think they should be happy here. Here's Clone Force 32 holding down the train tunnel for now, just outside of Skyhook, and this team, oh my goodness, they are forced to just retreat here, but we know that there are other squads inside Skyhook, as Einos wants to try and get position on them, see if he can look down, maybe get a knock, but he has to be careful himself. As you can see on the rooftop just across the ways, there was another squad actually applying pressure onto them, and there they go. They just back away. They don't need to get into the sniper battles up against them. Their economy doesn't look that great. Take a look at Einos right now. He's sitting on about 160 light ammo. Trinal himself has a G7 Scout, so they're both running light ammo without that much ammo behind it.
Yeah, also, Einos only just got his blue shield, so they are a little bit behind on defenses, but hopefully they can find some loot here. Looks like he is finding some more light ammo, so I don't know. But this, honestly, that place is so hard to defend because there are sightlines everywhere on either side. So they need to figure out which teams they're going to focus to try and clear the path into the next circle.
Yeah, the most important for Clone Force 32 is going to be making sure that no one actually climbs up here, and they don't really have to worry too much about their east because they know that the squad that's playing the respawn beacon, they're under no pressure to move out of here. This is such a strong spot to hold. We have circles that frequently end basically on top of that team, which is why Pringles are eyeing it. They want to try and find their way in themselves, but they're not even peeking out at all. There we go, the first peek out, Phony spots it, and he actually gets tagged by the team inside. That's going to be Clone Force 32. So Team Pringles are going to have to continue to just bide their time for now. And the worrying thing for me is that Phony is still sitting on that charge rifle. He doesn't have a close range option to work with, especially playing on that Gibraltar. And I don't know if they have like maybe an extra shotgun somewhere for him to swap off onto.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be able to switch. I think I did see him swap with someone earlier, so I don't know if they'll do that for him. But that's really hard to do in the heat of a battle. And they are sitting on the edge of 2 teams watching them, so they're going to have to play that very carefully.
Team
looks
Intel
like your
spotting
team
out
to
another
watch,
squad
Intel.
inside Skyhook right now. As they're making their way into that connecting tunnel. So they might just completely avoid this squad just because there's so many teams trying to gatekeep here on the western side of the zone over in Skyhook. So I agree with this decision by that squad to rotate out and maybe come out from the south side and avoid a lot of the fighting.
Yeah, Intel, they do have points, so they can take the pacing a little bit slower because they are playing for endgame, but oh, it looks like they are trying to get as much damage as possible. Maybe build their shields because Purple looks like Dupe is currently sitting at 442 damage left. So maybe they're just trying to build their shields, but the triple take does have limited ammo, so you gotta make sure you hit those shots.
Here's Team Rockstar trying to take position here on the northern side. There's a full 3-man ahead of them, but it's Team Cheezy that was actually trying to move through, I believe, through Skyhook now. And they're getting caught out as it looks like it was Team Razor coming through. Golden going down so quickly now, and Team Razor are just going to go ahead and full send it into them, taking them out. Aftermath trying to come in for the third party here, but they do not have the timing on it because Razor were so quick.
Yeah, if you want a third party, you need to make sure it's just at the tail end. And unfortunate for Cheez-It, they were just caught out by surprise and just separated and absolutely decimated there. Looks like Aftermath is trying to commit though. Maybe get some damage here. Looks like
they at least force them off the loot, right? So even though Razor get the team fight win, this is going to be Aftermath's loot above all else. And so we know that Razor were struggling just a little bit because they had things like trials stolen away from them. And so this is a little bit of a sore point. You like to get the +3, but not getting the loot is going to be a tough blow for them. As you can see, Aftermath continuing to just poke and prod at Team Razor right now.
Ooh. Yeah, even though Aftermath does have the high ground, they're getting absolutely shredded here. Looks like Razor is committing to the fight, pushing up the hill, trying to push through this Gibby bubble, and it looks like Aftermath is trying to run, but it's a little too late for that now. They should have done that when they pushed them off originally. We might see a full committed fight here.
Ultimately, for Aftermath, it seems like it was just nothing gained for them because whatever additional meds that they picked up off these bodies, they had to use because Razor were just tagging them every time they went for a peek. And so now with 1 minute and 47 seconds left to go, Team Razor, they have to weigh their options and they can try and take this fight up against Team Aftermath. But it looks like they're considering maybe just doubling back around over towards Skyhook here, as it looks like that will be their decision.
Yeah, okay. So I will point out that Razor has made a decision as opposed to Aftermath, which wasn't sure if they wanted to push or not. So that's very good that they know what exactly they want to do, especially with only a minute left. But it looks like Razor's actually going to go back around the other way. Maybe they're a little kill hungry here, or I'm not quite sure what their plan is here.
Yeah, I think they were considering going back towards Skyhook, but with the time constraint that they have now, with a minute left to go, they just have to deal with them here. Good damage out from that G7 scout of Zera. Tricky. But again, time is starting to run out, and looks like they're just going to avoid this fight now. Rockstar, though, finally taking it to this squad. It's going to be Prideful going down. Protectful will fall. Kimchi Lee will flatten them down, and they'll be able to get the res onto Crummy as well. Playing inside, basically, the tracks over here. They've got a lot of cover to work with. Now they're going to be happy with 3 additional loot boxes to play off of as well.
I think that was Fury sniping with the charge rifle there, trying to get extra damage and hold Rockstar out. But we still don't know where they are on positioning because there's only so many places that they can be at. It looks like they did take the rocks over there, and Rockstar still has a bit of cover from this little formation here.
Ooh, it looks like it's a 3-team affair as Razor are trying to maneuver around. They have made their way over towards the platform right now, getting some great damage off, flesh damage as the bubble goes down just in time. But Team Intel will go ahead and do them a solid and finish off that squad. And so now we're down to 12 squads, 34 players remaining, and Razor done a good job of navigating this. They've cleared out the south, and so they'll be largely safe here with a lot of options to work off of.
Yeah, once they cleared that back zone, that's entirely theirs. Splash, we haven't seen much of these guys earlier in games, but it looks like they are actually in top 15 squads, so that's good. They have a decent position, but looks like they are going to be forced off with a bombardment here.
Oh, it looks like a rat is actually coming up behind them right now as the scan goes down, and it should just be the Gibraltar by himself. There he goes. as Malice Mamba will go ahead and pick that one up, and that's just going to be free loot for them, as they do have the rocks to play off of. But you can see why that team that pulled up at that respawn beacon earlier on took that position. The ring is going to continue to pull up towards this area, and it is Pop-Tarts that got here early. The difficulty is, of course, when you play this position, when you play very passively, you haven't done damage. And you can see Exile is still sitting on the White Evo shield.
That white shield may end up hurting them a little bit. They are trying to build it for him, but, you know, this late into the game, with this small a circle, I don't know how much a blue shield will even last.
I believe that's going to be Rockstar over to their east, and they to their south right now. I can't quite remember who it was. It might be Team Pringles. But here's Splash trying to make their move. One knock onto turns. Bubble has been forced out, and now they're going to go ahead and push this with the man advantage. They were never able to get turns up, and Jibby will get finished off. Team GNR taking them out just outside of Survey Camp, and that's a full wipe with no one going down, so that's a quick recovery for them.
Yeah, now they have all of these resources to restock and refuel for the fight. And Intel taking the backside here. Looks like they were able to get their hands on a Kraber. This could be their big damage gain here. Looks like they are taking a fight inside this little cave. I hate fights in here. It's just so clustered. It just feels so claustrophobic here.
They've got to be careful. It's Asuras that are playing inside this tunnel now, but at any moment you can, of course, get sandwiched by the squad that was playing over on the southern side. Razor have the option to try and come in for the third party here. Intel or Asuras, they need to clean out this fight really quickly without losing anyone, or the third parties will come in extremely quickly now. As you can see, the nades are popping out from either side. Intel forcing them back with the arc stars. No high ground position for him. The Kraber connects, but it's not going to be a headshot. He goes for a second one now, forcing out the bubble. 25 seconds. The zone is going to start pressuring them shortly. They need to find an opening here. Team Asuras are happy, I guess, to be in this position because now it's Intel that are in this kind of four patty sandwich. Good! Skittles coming in with that. Shots
we might
on
actually be able
to
to take
Nano.
this fight. Oh, but they are getting third party from behind.
Yeah, third party with Razor coming in. We know that there's another squad to the north, so it's a 4-team affair inside this tunnel. But Team Razor are coming up with the flank. They've got a lot of cover to work off of as well. As you can see, Team Asuras getting that kill onto Verhulst, and Intel almost getting knocked out now. They find another kill onto Decoys, and Dupe will be finished off. So Intel are out. Here's Team Razor coming in for the ultimate third party Inos to fall, and that will be Clone Force 32 getting wiped out. And so Team Razor and Asuras are the only ones left inside this tunnel.
What an amazing play by Razor, waiting last minute, taking just a little bit of circle damage just to make sure that they came in for the third party, and they waited perfectly. That's actually a great clip for showing when you should third party.
Now the ring continuing to pull all the way on top of that respawn beacon. Look at that, smack dab right in the middle. So very few positions to play off of here. We have 6 squads as well. Maybe there's a rat running around. We'll find out very shortly here, but there's 28 seconds left and all hell is about to break loose.
Yeah, and they are all so close. Oh, there's your little rat over there. I see them. I can't quite see the name from here, but it looks like he is trying his best to try and get height.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts are the ones that are controlling the respawn beacon. We saw them earlier on, and it looks like they were finally able to upgrade one of their arbors. They have a purple on Lion instead of the white that they had earlier on. And here comes a squad coming up behind Pringles, and no! Early damage going across. As you can see, Fury dropped down to about 125 HP. Shorosuke hasn't gone for an overpeak quite yet, and here comes another squad coming in for the third party as well. Pop-Tarts need to defend this here as Applejacks are trying to make their move. They have a team underneath the tunnel now, but Kupski go ahead and make his way inside cover and hope that other squads take themselves out. They're just going to bide their time and heal up for the time being. You have to be careful here. This is a very fragile moment for them. We do have, it looks like Team Razor making the push onto Team Pop-Tarts. They've traded back and forth, and Team Pringles get knocked out here. We're down to 4 squads, 12 players remaining.
I was mistaken earlier. I did not see a rat, by the way. It was just 3 teams stacked on top of each other.
Applejack's
It looks like
losing out on
Applejacks.
one. They do trade back,
wow.
and Razor helps them out throughout all of this as Pop-Tarts comes in. So never mind, Pop-Tarts were still alive, but the defensive bombardment of damage is laying across them. Lion's the only one up as he's trying to hold the line, but he will ultimately fall, and it's going to be Razor that come in for the win here in game number 4.
It just shows you, Razor played everything perfectly this game. They knew when to third party. They knew when to move. They were very confident. I mean, if you remember, outside of what is it called? Oh, what's the place called? The big scout, like it's next to Countdown. I keep forgetting the name.
Like the field, the open field just east of Countdown?
No, it's across from Train Yard. For some reason, it is. I am blanking. There's like a little cave that leads into it. It's right next to Survey Camp.
Oh, yeah, the Skyhook Tunnel. The Skyhook Tunnel.
Skyhook, thank you. Yeah, like right there, they showed how confident they were with taking a fight, even though they were at a lower advantage. So they played everything perfectly there. From there on, they just third-partied everything. They timed, they were patient, and they played Circle perfectly.
Yeah, this was a great display of just rotation and timing coming out from Team Razor. We're going to go ahead and take another break. When we get back, we'll have game number 5 right after this.
Hey, what's up? My name's Crummy, and I'm about to try Silver Ice Rockstar. You want ice in your veins? This is the one. If you're looking to try Rockstars, head over to walmart.com/esportsarena to get your Rockstar products. I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Team Rockstar Week.
Imagine you love frosting and filling.
I do love frosting and filling.
Oh, well, imagine if there was a way to enjoy that delicious goodness anywhere, anytime, out of the toaster, out of the box, out of one of those baggy thingies, with nothing but a thin layer of foil between you and...
Pasta.
Yes, Curtis. This is a commercial about pasta.
I love it.
Frosting and filling for your pasta.
I like pesto.
Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, Apple Jacks, Corn Pops, Tiger Paws, they're Jumbo. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. Cereal, magnified, showing up for snacking time. Jumbo snacks, snack time heroes. Go take them on the go. It's Jumbo. It's for snacking. It's Jumbo Snacks.
Welcome back, everybody, to Series E. It's week number 2, and Rockstar Week continues, and we finally got it. I asked for the partnered squads to respond, and Razor did it. They take a big win here in our third official game of the day of the 5 that we're playing, and that's a huge win and should allow them to really jump into the conversation here for a win on the first open night of the season. We started off with open team wins, but Razor coming through strong in this third game, and big performance from them. Let's check out our player of the game here for this third game. We'll pull it up for you here momentarily. And it's Mr. Hakulo, the Slayer himself. He's got 2 Slayer titles from Season 1 and 2 in a row, and looking to make it a third here. 7 kills, 2 assists, over 2,000 damage. So when you look at those numbers, and you know, I would assume, just to take a guess, I say we probably have at least 4 to 5 kills from the rest of the squad, just with kind of how things go at the very least, right? So you add the 12 points from placement, plus at least 11 to 12 kills there. That's going to be a huge jump for Team Razor. So I'm very curious to see how the Mobile 1 leaderboard shakes out when we check it out, when we go back to Stella and Jamerson. But Razor has definitely put themselves in the conversation here on our first open night of the season. They don't want to let Osherus come in here and steal this title. Razor wants to start off this season strong, and they're looking to do it after, you know, if we go back to Season 2, they didn't look as good to kick off the year. It took a roster swap to really catapult them into the conversation at the top of Series E, but they're looking to not take that time away from the top of the standings. Good performance last Wednesday, and looking to make it 2 in a row here. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, it's our next game of the night. Rockstar Week continues right here on Series E.
Hey, what's up? My name is Kimchi Lee. I'm about to try the kiwi strawberry flavored Rockstar. So refreshing. I absolutely love kiwi strawberry. Rockstar knocks it out of the park with this one. Tastes literally like kiwi strawberry. If you're ever looking for a drink or something to give you that extra juice during your gaming sessions, make sure you check out walmart.com/esports arena and go get some Rockstars. I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week. I thought I was about to freaking just punch the can, like, right off my desk.
All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E, Rockstar Week here, but it was Team Razor that ended up taking game number 4, and we already had a contentious top 3, so let's go ahead and see who sits atop the leaderboard after that one, as we take a look at the Mobile 1 leaderboard now. We've had a lot of teams swapping positions in terms of the top 3. It was very close, but now it's Team Razor with a commanding lead. 48 points overall puts them in first place. Team Rockstar now here in second place, and Applejacks now at 29, as Asuras are going to be tied in fourth place with some nobodies.
Man, Asuras, they started out so strong, and they really haven't been able to climb much in the last 2 games. I'm surprised, and Team Razor just absolutely climbing each time they play. Also, we can't discount Rockstar. We pointed out that Rockstar has been wanting to get extra kills, and now they have placement 2. So we have 2 more games left, and I don't know. These 2 teams may be in high contention here.
Yeah, I think for Team Asuras, they had the right idea. It was just unfortunate timing because, of course, both of these squads ended up fighting in that Skyhook tunnel. If Asuras had survived, maybe they were the ones that could have walked away with the second win tonight in game number 4. But with 2 games left to go, there's still a lot of room for movement here. But Team Razor definitely are comfortable with a 17-point lead now over second place. They have another solid game here. I mean, that just might be it, and Team Razor might be our first official open night winner of Series E Season 3. Let's take a look at the Mobile 1 high performance moment of game number 4. And, there was just so much happening in the late game, but here it is. This is Team Intel trying to make their push. I believe Asuras were here along with Team Razor coming in for that third party right afterwards.
Yeah, that nasty hip fire with the Kraber. But this is when Intel realized that they had kind of messed up. They pushed a little bit too early. And I believe this is when they were fully eliminated by Team Razor here, who timed everything perfectly. They had the Gibby shield. They were able to play cover. And they just had superior knowledge of where the other 2 teams were. And they were able to just clean up and get extra KP here.
And you can see on the kill feed as well. That's going to be Team Asuras getting on the board. And ultimately, they drop one to Einol's. And that's when Team Razor come in for the cleanup. So it was just the battle over this tunnel. And ultimately, I mean, whoever won this basically won the game, and that was going to be Team Razor.
Yeah, because once you get through that tunnel, you're actually at the prime positioning. Like, you oversee everything else that's going to happen towards Survey Camp. And that's why Razor was able to win. They timed everything perfectly. They saw the map positioning, and they were able to take advantage of all that.
Yeah. And I think they also had just some really good timings on Team Pop-Tarts out of this tunnel as well. And Team Pop-Tarts, I think Razor were doing a great job of just poking. They might have gotten a knock onto them, one of them at some point, and so that just put fear into Pop-Tarts on peeking Team Razor from the position that they were in over by the respawn beacon. And ultimately, I believe Pop-Tarts decided to take the fight up against Applejacks instead of Razor because of that. So that's why it's so important to play confidently, to really put the fear into the other squads and make sure that your presence is known. And ultimately, with that confidence, Razor were able to get the win here and put themselves in a commanding lead. As we're just waiting for game number 5 to get underway, we have 2 more games left to go. Remember, here for Series E, we have $500 on the line every single night, but it's only the top 2 that place into the money. So $350 will be going to the first place team, with $150 going to the second place team. So there are stakes, but we also have to consider that it's also the long game, especially for our partnered squads. Remember, if you want to maintain your position here in Series E, you need to be in the top 4 so you don't get relegated and have to re-qualify for Season 4. Razor already off to a great start.
Yep, I think they're doing great. I mean, number 1 spot, it's only the number 1 spot, right? With a solid lead. It's nothing to scoff at.
Yeah, it's just a little bonus for them. We also know that of course, all of our players, they play for their salaries as well. So throughout the 3.5 month regular season, 4 month season of Series E, all of our 9 partner squads, 27 players are getting paid. As it looks like we do have game number 5 set up with 2 games left to go. We'll see if Razor can maintain this comfortable lead right now. Remember, they're sitting in first place with a 17-point lead over Team Rockstar, who are currently in 2nd place. So if Razor have another solid game here, this could just go ahead and clinch it for the night. But let's go ahead and head into World's Edge for game number 5.
So Team Rockstar is at 2nd place, but I do want to point out that Applejacks is only 2 points behind them. So they really need to focus and pull themselves together and secure 2nd spot at least solidly in this next match.
We saw in the last game here, Team Razor. Well, in game number 1, we know that they walked away with trials, but they tried again in that last game, in game number 4. They showed up a little bit late, and all the loot was already gone, but here's Pringles. Once again, 6xZs fighting them off drop. They've already got the man advantage here. They're going to find another one to knock onto Goopy, and that's going to be 6xZs going down very shortly here. Oh! Nades gets at least 1 knock, consolation prize at the very least, but the res will come out for Pringles, and it looks like everyone on Pringles, despite getting 50-50 at every game, they're still having a good time.
I'm so surprised that they keep contesting them. Oh, and the BM emote, I love it.
Yeah, 6xZs, though, are a regular competitor here in Series E, right? They're basically a staple for our open registration nights. So I think, like I said, usually for a lot of our squads, it's about establishing your drop site. So if you're going to play the next 10 weeks here in the open night with our partnered squads, you also want to kind of command that respect that, hey, we're going to fight for this drop as well. And if we have a really good week, then, you might be the one that ends up being relegated. For 6xZs, they don't have anything to lose. It's Team Pringles that have more on the line.
Oh, and it looks like Splash here is already in a fight here at Thermal. I don't know who that team's up against, but they are full sending.
Yeah, it's going to be the Rev Octane as it looks like Turns got the knock onto Brandon here. Malice Mamba will take out Lon away. And it looks like it's just 1 player remaining, but he's dropping right into the stairwell where the rest of the squad is awaiting. Gordo will get finished off, and Team Splash, Nestle Splash, will pick that up.
That was probably one of the fastest fights I've seen in all of these games yet. Looks like GNR, they're also in a fight here.
I'm wondering if
all
this
the
is
way
Team
over...
Pop-Tarts over here. Find out in just a moment, but right now with that
cool,
Spitfire, oh! It's going to be Crummy to actually pick that one up. Neg, though, he's going to be fighting into I believe it's going to be a 1v2 as he's still pushing forward. Yeah, there it is. The res coming out from Kim Chi Lee to bring Crummy back into things. So Rockstar with a nice rotation up into Geyser will pick up 2 kill points on the verge of finding a 3rd as they secure this thirst onto Highlight.
Yeah, it looks like Neg is just going to run for survival because there's nothing else he can do at this point, really. And there it is, 2 KP for Team Rockstar.
I think this was a 3rd party, actually, coming out from Rockstar. So good timing coming out from Rockstar here. There's still 20 seconds left to go before the zone even starts closing. And if they want to, they can kind of stick around here. There's plenty of time as those banners will slowly expire. And it looks like they're just going to take their time to loot here because really, they're already on the edge. The zone is pulling up once again. A little bit north. Not the same kind of circle that we had last time, so this one could be going over to Survey. There's a chance, I think a higher chance that this one might actually go over to Skyhook. We don't have an idea of where the second wing is going, but Pringles trying to find another fight now as they make their way through Survey camp. Bow check Bow out for Fury, but he's been naded out, and He does dodge that, and now they're just gonna go ahead and rooftop camp these squad. As they try to push up, it's Pop-Tart. Z Davis going down quickly. They do have the barrel set up though, slowing them down. So the res not quite getting popped yet, as they do use that Nox gas grenade. They haven't stuck the res quite yet, as they still need to defend against the squad.
Yeah, and again, I was saying earlier with one of the squads that was holding out in this building last game, if a Caustic was there, they would have been able to hold it more confidently, and that's exactly what they're doing here.
They haven't been able to get the res yet, and it's just a matter of time before Team Pringles push in. I believe there's just one more barrel down. They finally get the res onto Z Davis, but they still need to buy even more time for them to heal. And it looks like SJR coming in for the third party. They got the re-knock onto Z Davis here, but Shosuke, he's taking a lot of damage, and he backs away, leaving his duo up top. As it looks like missed out on the third-party timing, so Z Davis will get re-resed, and Pop-Tarts somehow survive that entire affair.
They are holding on for dear life right here. It looks like SJR is actually fighting for their own lives. It looks like the third party didn't go well, and now they're getting third-partied as well. We don't know who they're up against right now, but looks like Shosuke might actually go down here.
I believe it was Clone Force 32, defensive bombardment right on top, and he only has about 26 HP, but he's got the moves, somehow choking all of that, but he ultimately falls. Oh boy.
You have to respect the survivability.
Yeah, that was pretty nice movement coming out from them. Here's Team Pringles going for another try onto Team Pop-Tarts that knock onto Z Davis once again, and ultimately Team Pringles will finally get the 3 kill points that they wanted off this squad. Here comes the third party attempt by Clone Force 32, and they're full sending into these, thinking that maybe there was a lot more damage there, but they've actually done more damage to themselves. The turnaround coming out now is, oh boy, that jump pad wasn't the greatest, and decoys will not go out safely.
Yeah, you really have to be careful when you use jump pads, especially in higher skill lobbies like this, because that just makes you an open target. And it looks like Pringles here, even though they weren't fully healed off the last fight, they might have the advantage here. And they finished the fight easy.
Yeah, they didn't take too much damage in that fight up against Team Pop-Tart, so it was a quick recovery for them. All they needed were some armor swaps, and they instantly turned around. And then, of course, you had the self-Rockstar there that ultimately helped them out. Team Intel over here by Countdown trying to hold down a building as Skittle Cakes has been cracked, and you can see Verholz and Skittles trying to heal up, but now it's going to be Dupe's opportunity to heal up with that bubble down. He's done enough to hold down the line for his squad at the very least, but now he needs to slide on over. We'll see how hard this team decides to commit. It's going to be 2 brains, 1 controller on the other side of this fight.
Looks like Oxy got his purple shield, but also is taking some damage, and he's going to have to back off to heal. I don't know if they're going to be able to push this, but they do have shields ready, at least.
The port is there for Tech if they do need to get out of here. I don't know if he'll actually use that in an aggressive manner, as they're going to try and get some information for themselves using the using the tactical of Mercy, but really, 2 brains, 1 controller, all they're doing is just using up their economy. You can see a lot of cells, a lot of bats have been used throughout this engagement, and like you said earlier on, the longer you stick around, the longer you make noise, the higher chance of a third party. So it looks like 2 brains, 1 controller know that they took way too long and they'll just back off.
Yeah, especially in a place like Countdown, where you know a lot of teams might be passing through. You just have to be careful about when you take fights. They've been here for quite a bit too, and it seems like the other team might be pushing in.
Ooh, good damage out there from Mercy with that Scouts, as it looks like another team was considering actually poking out. And so now they're the ones that are actually running a Valkyrie, so they can take their time here if they want to, because they'll have that ultimate to just try and pop out. But she's it. Riding on the edge, they've got a squad ahead of them. You can see them running through the zone right now, and so Mollis might be able to sneak up on them, but he does get peeked. Only hits for the 14, but he's got his squad mates helping out. Bubble has been used as well as Cheesa commit to this push now. Defense bombardment down. They get the knock onto Sin, and now, oh, the squad just showing up way too late. And they should be able to pick this one up. Jug going down, and now there's just going to be 1 player left for this squad.
Yeah, not staying together can be a death sentence for a squad, and it looks like they are going to full chase him and try to get this finish.
He's pretty far, and I believe they already used their jump pad. Joining on board with Team Pringles. They have like 7 or so kill points right now, and they're looking to hold down the train tunnel. We saw a lot of action taking place here in game number 4, and it's going to be very similar here in game number 5. But for Team Pringles at this point, it's all about making to the late game. They have their KP. Now they want the placement points behind it as well, as Team Cheez-It find themselves in another fight here on the south side of the zone.
No. It looks like they're getting third-partied, and oh, they can't. It was a res send, so they're actually going to have to try and get this res off and either commit to the fight or leave. But it looks like they're not going to be able to survive this one, and they go down. Oh, and that was Team Splash.
Yeah, we saw them running that Rev Octane in that first fight, 50-50 down at Thermal Station. Cheez-It tried to gatekeep here on the southern side, but it did not work out for them. And you can see Malice Mamba, he's already popping those ultimate excels to have a second go. So they're going to look for their next target now and go for that Rev Octane push once again.
Oh, Rev Octane is such a strong meta right now, especially since it basically grants you a second life. So the fact that they're running this to get initial damage and then push back to kind of finish off the kills is a pretty good strategy. And it looks like Rockstar here, they're in another fight. Right inside the middle of Fragment, just outside of the circle.
Yeah, they got a team playing inside market. They're going to take the time to just heal up for this one. But it seems the squad might have actually just backed away. And so neither team really wanting to full commit onto this one. Rockstar just backs off for now, and they'll find another way to approach this here as they're making their way over to construction, so they don't have to commit. There's 36 seconds left to go, and here's Splash now pushing onto 2 brains, 1 controller. They've already gone 2 knocks. Oxy, Mercy, and Tech are gone. Team Splash picking up another +3, and I don't even think they used the totem for that one.
I don't think they had time to use totem on there either. Yeah, it looks like Team Splash is really trying to make their mark in this game here. The last time that we saw them on the leaderboard, they were placed 16th, so maybe they want to try and play for points.
With 2 games left to go, I highly agree with this. Pivoting onto a composition that wants to fight early and wants to continue to take fights in every stage of the game. And so far, they have, what, like 5-7 kill points, I believe, across them. And so things are working out. And now it's will they be able to continue this kind of same pace? There's only 11 squads remaining here as we get a better idea of where this ring is going. It's going to go ahead and pull down to the respawn beacon on the train platform northwest of Fragment West right now. And you can see Protectable Pride and Cruisin' are in position. Here's Team Razor. We saw them in a similar position, same time in game number 4. As I believe they were taking on Aftermath, who were trying to gatekeep them just at this choke. But here's Rockstar and finding themselves in a fight. It's going to be a Surus on the other side as Rockstar do trade 1-for-1. And the thirst comes out. There's a knock onto Aj now. It's going to be a 2v1 fight for Rockstar. But where is the Team Razor third party?
There it is. There was the scan. They're coming in. Razor trying to finish up this kill on Rockstar. Are they going to be able to team wipe them? They get 1 knock. It's a 2v2. And they're trying to go for the res. Razor, I don't know, he has a gold backpack, so they're going to be able to come back up full health.
And Hakulo, of course, will also have his passive, so the downtime is almost nothing with that gold armor. So it looks like Team Rockstar now are going to be down to a solo, I believe, as Razor found great timing on that push.
That was very good timing. It just shows you that Razor has been keeping an eye on everything, and it looks like that's going to be the Rev Octane push. And they are in Rev form, so they're being sent back, but they didn't do that much damage.
Silence onto Hakulo, so he's going to be slowed down a bit, but you're right, they didn't do that much damage at all, and so Razor, they can still play aggressively here. You see Hakulo tops himself off with 1 cell, and now they've got the crossfire set up. Here comes Intel, though, to come in for the third party. It's not going to be a strong third party, it's just going to be a flank onto the squad. And so it's just a sandwich now, and they're not going to hard commit. They're just going to try and steal away a kill point if they can. Great shots out. There we go. They get the kill onto turns, and Nestle get knocked out.
And that's exactly what they wanted. They didn't want a full send. They just wanted to get a little bit of just a little taste of the fight. But it does look like Intel is pushing up to try and get some loot here and maybe some better shields. And they get the red shield off of this 1 KP.
They also have to contend with Team Razor. I don't know if they're still sticking around. They are on the other side of this rock. Verholst, he hears them and he just backs away. And you know the strength of the team on the other side of this one. They don't need to commit onto this fight, but they might be stuck onto this side of the zone. And so it's just a matter of time as it looks like Razor will decide to just duck out. And now they're trying to get on top of them as Razor accidentally run into someone. A full team actually underneath this bridge. They picked that one up, taking very little damage. Zeratricky is the only one that needs to heal up. And here comes Team Intel trying to find an angle on them. Decent damage out from that Spitfire, forcing Team Razor back. But man, Intel are a little bit hesitant on this one. They don't see the trades, so they're not going to hard commit onto it. They have the Beast of the Hunt popping this entire time, so they'll have the additional scans, but it looks like Team Razor do a great job of just maneuvering away from them.
Yeah, and it also looks like Intel might be running a little bit low on ammo on all ends here. I don't remember who has it, but someone has a Spitfire with a gold mag, and they only had about 100 ammo left, so they really need to be careful about their resources.
The Team Razor, winners of game number 4, champions of the arena now, trying to do it back-to-back as they make their way around. Team Intel are happy, though, so far as they've done a great job of clearing out this side of the zone, and so they'll have a safe spot to play off of once the ring starts closing in. But it's about Team Razor trying to establish a position, and they're finding it difficult now, getting poked from every angle. There's a team playing onside the platform just to their northwest, so it's going to be up to Rice Krispies to try and gatekeep them.
This location is so hard to defend because there are only two real viable points of cover here, and there are teams already set up there. So Team Razor may have to make a wide flank around.
There's an opportunity, quite possibly, for them to gain position on the northeast side of the zone, of the next zone. There's, of course, that underpass underneath the train tracks that they could try to play off of, but it looks like a squad might already be positioned here. Now Team Razor actually just full sending it on to Rice Krispies. They trade 1 for 2, or actually 2 for 1, and it's just Nemusona by himself. Zeratricky has gone down, and it looks like the third party is already coming in. Acklio doing a great job of just covering the door. They will be able to get Zeratricky back in, and he's healed up. So Team Razor just audaciously push right on top of Rice Krispies and steal this position away from them.
Razor is really showing their strength at being able to work together as a team. All of their comms must be so tight in order for them to make every single fight work, even when it's at the cost of potentially someone going down. And it looks like Intel here, they might have someone below them, just a little bit out of... I think they're trying to get eyes on all the remaining teams here. There are 5 teams left in this small circle.
You can see the ring is pulling away from this building, and there's 2 teams up top. It's going to be Pringles getting pushed, and they're actually forcing this squad back right now. Good shots. That's going to be Drex going down. That was a rad. So we're now down to our top 4 squads, as we have Team Razor, Team Intel, Team Pringles, along with 1 open squad team remaining here in the top 4.
This is going to be such an interesting circle. It looks like Pringles might have the advantage here because they are in circle, but the other teams are going to have to move closer to where they are. This is going to be a nasty fight between all the remaining squads.
And you can see why Fury is poking his head out. He wants to just make sure no one runs at them. If he can, with the fire itself, he wants to try and force all 3 squads remaining into each other instead, alleviate all that pressure just by showing your presence here. And he's the one that's holding down the eastern side of the zone for his squad. The other 2, you can see they're a little bit split up for them. And for now, it's just going to be until the ring closes. So we'll see if Pringles can hold on to this position, but it looks like Protectful is setting up a port for himself to get his squad in for the next zone.
Yeah, looks like everyone's playing really carefully. This is the second to last match, so no one wants to be taken out this early because it is still 4 squads left. And Circle is just about to close now, 38 seconds. Intel still trying to get some extra shots off because they know that there's one team stuck behind just one cargo crate.
They should have the jump pad to go in if they want to, forcing out the bubble from that squad, from Team Razor really early on. And they're trying to delay this drop down for as long as possible here. And so they've at least forced Team Razor into Team Pringles, and now they just have to deal with Cruisin' right below them. You can see Skittles is trying to find something here at the doorway, but now Team Pringles turning their full attention on over to Team Razor, and so it should be a 2v2 or actually 2 fights taking place across this. You can see the defensive bombardment going down. Fury, even though he wants to try and snipe away some kill points, he knows he has to be careful about Razor just above him. Hakulo taking that angle. And surprisingly enough, no deaths quite yet, but it's just a matter of time. As now Protectful is running into Team Razor. Razor losing out 1-1. Protectful picks that one up. Team Intel will be able to pick up those kills, and now Team Razor just down to a duo, and they don't have Zeratricky's bubble for this. We'll see though, as it looks like Team Pringles aren't going to get too aggressive, and it might be a gold bag res for them. The scans out from every angle, and we have a ceasefire between the two teams right now. It's just a truce, but never mind. Fury's going to go ahead and break it as he pushes up. Pringles want these kill points, but do they put themselves in a bad spot for it? The res did go down. They had the gold bag res as well, and now Team Pringles, they have to back away knowing that the res came down.
Pringles is actually still in a pretty good spot here, isolated away from these fights, and they do have a shield swap, but with this last circle closing, they are going to have to push, and that means Intel is going to get a great angle on these guys. Looks like Intel doing damage across the board, but they're not really focusing on a team.
Yeah, they're just
Everyone's
trying to poke
slowly.
away at either side right now. At this point, you can see, just using up the last of all of your heals, just trying to poke, do any kind of damage whatsoever.
Skittle.
And there's the knock and the kill onto Zeratricky, as Baby Thule will go down as well. Team Intel doing a great job of picking up whatever kill points they can. The Team Pringles, they're just biding their time. Verhulst is doing such a good job of trying to keep Pringles at bay, but now it's Pringles' turn to turn on the aggression. They got a knock onto one, and they're just going to go ahead and full send it to finish it off. Hakulo is trying his best to survive just underneath behind of his team, and somehow Team Intel, they go down. Team Pringles will be able to finish this one off, and they'll take game number 5.
I was asking for a really good game for Pringles, and I'm so happy that this was it. They
was a
played
great
everything
game.
so well right there.
It was a great game for Team Pringles there, especially to try and catch up. But we noted before the start of this game, Team Razor really just needed one more good game, and this was definitely that for them, as they did make it into the top 3 for themselves. So that's going to be a lot of additional points. We know that they had, a 17-point lead up against the second-place team heading into this game. So going into game number 6, they've almost assuredly basically synced at least top 2. We're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we get back, we'll have the final game of the evening right after this.
Last two squads, last two squads. Oh, he's cracked. Kimchi's cracked. He's cracked. Wait, they're fighting. Let them fight. Strictly, Popo. Move together. Oh, we get third party. Oh, two knocks. Let's go. Oh, let's go. That's third party central. If you're looking to try Rockstars, head over to walmart.com/esportsarena to get your Rockstar products. My name's Crummy, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Team Rockstar Week.
What's your favorite smash? It's very refreshing.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
Stack
Pringles flavors. Make new ones.
How much do you think Pringles paid these people?
Hardly anything.
Hey, you guys want to stack different Pringles flavors to create new flavor combos? Here, I'll go first. Pizza, barbecue, and jalapeno. The spicy barbecue pizza stack.
Get him!
Grandpa, what's going on?
Pringles. We're trapped in a Pringles commercial. They must have taken us in our sleep.
How can we get out?
We can't, Summer. They warned me this would happen and I didn't listen.
Stack Pringles, make endless new flavors. Stacking Pringles to make new flavors. Make endless new flavor and barbecue, wavy, and sour cream and onion equals a 3-layer dip stack.
All right, everybody, welcome back here. Rockstar Week continues its open night here in Week 2 of Series E. Season number 3 in our second to last game, all done there. Team Pringles coming out on top with an extremely strong victory. Big win from them. Let's check out our player of the game. Fourth/fifth game, second to last. We got one more to go. Don't worry, okay? But let's check out player of the game here. And it was Presley. 9 kills, 2 assists, and very efficient as well. 1,500 damage there. 1526 officially grabbing the 9 kills with that. So lasering people, finishing off the kills, getting work done, and getting a big dub there. And I do want to note for everybody at home, obviously, I have the benefit of getting a little bit of the behind the scenes look. That is half of Team Pringles kills in that game. So they had 18 total kills plus their 12 placement points. That's a 30-point game from Team Pringles. Now, I'm not entirely sure where they were sitting in our Mobile One leaderboard going into that last game, but that is definitely going to catapult them into the conversation here with one more game to go. Now, in just a moment, I do want to pull up a bit of a comparison because we were talking earlier, it was Team Razor and Team Rockstar sitting at the top of our Mobile One leaderboard after the previous game. It was 48 points for Team Razor, and they had a 17-point lead over Team Rockstar with 31. Now, we started off the day talking about Team Rockstar. It is their sponsored week, and we needed them to turn things around. And while they still haven't gotten a win under their belt, they've been racking up points bit by bit by bit throughout the day. And look, that graphic's ready. Obviously, big shout out to production and our stats department, Sam Ward up there, the stats man, pulling all of this for us. Big shout out to him, but we'll pull this up one for you so you can see it here. I just want to go through kind of this matchup that we've seen so far today. Again, these two squads were sitting in first and second place going into our last game. Now, you can see they're beautiful. 33 kills for Rockstar through 4 games so far, 39 for Team Razor. So the fragging, not all that different between these two squads. But the big difference you can see at the bottom of your screen is those last 2 stats. The 1 win for Team Razor, absolutely huge, and that average placement of 3.5. They are getting into the top 5 almost every single game. Razor has been so strong today, continuing to rack up placement points. There is a big difference. You can look at that average team damage. That's average damage from all 3 players through the 4 games. Almost 4,200 from Team Razor overall. That's a great stat line. They're getting their damage out every single game. They aren't necessarily turning it into as many kills as you would hope. As you see that lower number for Team Rockstar, just over 2,500 and still with 33 kills. That's very good. Now, how is this going to shake out on the Mobile One leaderboard? We're not entirely sure. We'll check that when we go back to Stella and Jamerson, but it promises to be a very tight race. It was looking to be Rockstar and Razor after that. Pringles certainly jumping into that conversation. We're going to head to a quick break, but when we come back, it's our final game of the day. It's our first open night for Series E Season 3. Rockstar Week continues when we come back.
Hey, what's up? My name is Kimchi Lee, and I'm about to try the Fruit Punch flavored Rockstar. Never go wrong with Fruit Punch. Rockstar. You just stay knocking these out of the park. This flavor is on point. I love it. If you're ever looking for a drink or something to give you that extra juice during your gaming sessions, make sure you check out walmart.com/esports arena and go get some Rockstars. I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week.
Cheese it snapped. How's it taste? It's so thin, crispy, and cheesy. And I just want to keep eating it. And eating it. They love them.
Snapped. So good we may run out of cheese.
All right, we already heard it from Yeso there in game number 5. Pringles drop the 30 bomb, get a huge game for them. Heading into the final game of the evening, game number 6, with something like with a performance like that, we need to actually take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see where they stand now, because a 30 bomb comes once in, a blue moon, so that's huge for them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard to see if we still have Team Razor in the lead, and they do, like we said. If they have another solid game in game number 5, they've basically clinched it here. They have a 23-point lead over Team Pringles. And so if they get any points on the board, basically, Stella, it's going to be a first-point win for them, unless Team Pringles gets another 30 bomb.
Yeah, so I want to point out that Team Pringles went from 9th place last match, or 2 matches ago, last match. They were from 9th place to 2nd. That is huge. If they can pull that kind of energy again for this match, they might be able to contest Razor. But that's not counting Razor if they fight the way that they have been consistently.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Mobile One high performance moment of game number 5. And this was just all about late game know-how and really being able to basically direct the flow of the lobby. And that's what Team Pringles were doing with their positioning, with how they were fighting up against all the squads that were coming in. They were applying pressure where they needed to make sure that they were the squads that were able to fight last. And that's what they did here to finish off the game.
Yeah, and they did so without taking too much damage, and so they were able to finish off the last person who came at them. And it's just amazing to see what positioning can do for you. And Apex is a game where you will be highly punished for any mistake you make. And all these teams, they made the mistake of ignoring Pringles there, and so Pringles just took advantage of all that.
Yeah, and you can see at the end of this, I love how Hakulo sees that there was, I believe, a knock on the side of Team Pringles. So he just full sends it in after them. As you can see, there we go. He's just waiting behind his down teammate. I think that might be Zeratricky. And he's like, okay, there's a knock. I'm going to go ahead and full send. Yeah, I'm going to try to find
and then
something.
Gets focus fired. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, you have to appreciate the confidence, though, right? It's all or nothing. You send it, and, you just get focus fired by 2 people. It happens.
Yeah, but it's still a good discipline overall out from Hakulo there, as he's just playing around that knockdown shield. And that was an additional 2 points for them in terms of placement, going from 3rd to 2nd place. So just buying time, just waiting for Team Pringles to help you out just a little bit, getting rid of intel for you, does net them the additional 2 points, which actually puts them, helps them with their lead over Team Rockstar. So Team Razor, clear lead, 23 points over 2nd place, but it's Team Pringles and Team Rockstar now that are going to be fighting for 2nd place with some people that are still in contention. So don't count out some nobodies, Team Applejacks or Team Asuras. There's still a chance, but man, time is running out. It's game number 6, the final one of the evening.
I'm so excited.
Sounds like we are ready for game number 6. So let's go ahead and head on to World's Edge for the final game of the evening.
So how do you feel about your team to watch Intel's performance so far? I know you also like Asuras, but how do you feel about Intel and how they're doing right now?
It was definitely a good sight. It was just very unfortunate for them that they were on the congested. Oh boy! Oh no!
No!
Team Pringles. Oh, they've been having this 50-50 all night long, and this time around they're going to be playing on the back foot. I believe it was the first 50-50 of the day. Did not work out in their favor, but now they've lost out on Presley. Here's Splash, though. They found themselves in a 50-50 as well, as Brandon gets the knock onto turns, and there's no time for this Rev Octane squad to get going. This is off the rip, and Gibby has basically nothing left. Almost get the one clip there with the Volt, but now all he's left with is the Re-45, has the armor swap to work off of, and here comes Malice Mama on the lurk. Gets the crack onto one, but the full peek out. Lan will be able to get the knock onto him, and so now Splash fighting into a 1v3, and We were hoping to see more out of them. They were doing a great job in the last game of taking fight after fight, but it's going to be Airstream Esports to finish them off.
Oh, man. That was unfortunate. I thought they had the upper hand there, but they just could not pull that off with two just peeking them at once.
Now here's Team Razor. We're going to see them taking trials earlier. And so they learned their lesson from game number 4. Do not let anyone else steal this loot away from you. And they go full 3-man with 2 minutes left to go ahead and take out all of these prowlers. Here comes Asurus with a third party, though. This is actually a fast third party coming out from Tree. They get the knock onto Gordo. So Asurus knows what's on the line here, and they need a big final game to try and catch up and maybe steal away second place.
Yeah, Nano with that, with the Volt, though. Oh my goodness, they stood no chance there. Oh, looks like Intel is riding right around the edge. I think they want to try and third-party this. Looks like they are full sending. Ooh. We're going to see yet another fight here.
A jump pad into the nades now with the scans as well. Counter nades out from the other side to slow things down, but that's a huge thermite connect, and they're just stuck inside the stairwell here as Verholst drops down. Beast of the Hunt has been popped on the other side as Verholst has been cracked, but Dupe and Skittles are still alive and healthy. Aj getting the knock onto Verholst here as Team Intel trying to go for the fast res, and they somehow allow him to do it. Does the re-knock come in? No, Verholst survives for now as the nades come out from Dupe here, falling back, trying to get the nade knock onto one of them as he gets flanked from Nano from behind. No. Dupe will fall, and so this comes down to a 2v3 in favor of Asurus on the other side here. We'll see if they press the issue, dropping down. And now they still have to clear this score. Things not looking good for Intel, but that's some good initial damage as Aj gets another knock onto them. Verholst is the only one remaining, and Asurus won't be able to survive. They are now the kill leaders and will walk away with about 6 kill points. Applejacks, though, find themselves in a fight, I believe, up against Rockstar here, but not for long, as GNR come in.
Oh, man. That was up in the air for either of them, but getting stuck on the door was just an unfortunate play right there.
Get a good idea of where this ring is going.
Oh, it's a geyser ring. Okay. Seems like a lot of teams are really trying to get early KP so they can try and secure that endgame placement, especially since this is game 6.
Pop-Tart's going for that Valkyrie redeploy to take this position, so they think this one's actually going to pull away from Geyser. And you can see Exile already setting up for his squad, getting all the barrels down to make sure no one else pushes that roof for them. Do they know that there's a squad underneath them? It's the trouble of not running that Bloodhound, so they won't have that scan to allow them to know that GNR are actually right below them.
This could be an interesting fight since, they do have the knowledge, and now they are aware that there is a team underneath them, but they have a Caustic, so they might be able to take this fight pretty easily.
Yep. We'll see as Rockstar themselves find themselves in a fight. They didn't have to move far as this ring continues to pull down to Lava City. Good thermite connect out from Kimchi Lee, and it's all about roof control for them. Defensive bombardment has been used. Kimchi Lee has to be careful. Gets tagged by one, and he's slowed down, so he's disconnected from his squad. Strictly is on his ones, and he's got to be careful as now this squad is trying to push up. The flank coming out from Crummy, the lurk, and he catches out one, the one clip onto Kenji God, and that's going to give them the 3v2 fight as they go for the instant thirst and the chase onto the rest of this team. Good damage out here from Strictly as they'll finish off Etymology, and now it's the 2v1 as Kimchi Lee has gone down, but they should be able to finish him off very shortly. Here comes Team Pop-Tarts now as they are making their way down this building to try and get rid of GNR.
Looks like they have taken a little bit of damage, but we're able to heal that off. So it looks like no one's fully committing yet. They're not quite sure of everyone's positions and how many resources they have. So I think they're just taking this carefully. But they're going to end up wasting resources if they keep poking like this.
Yeah, it's just clearing out floor by floor. The scan has gone down, and so there's a huge opportunity. 26-second window for Team Pop-Tarts, and that's going to be the go signal for them, as Z Davis was trying to find something with that Arcstar, but looks like, they've got them to loop the loop, but it's a quick turnaround. Remix gets one clip by Z Davis here, and they'll poke out. Z Davis has to be careful. He's dropped down to about 20 HP, and so he'll just swap out positions with Lion and Exile. Will they be able to secure the Thirst on to this downed member? The defensive bombardment has been used, and it looks like they're going to try and safely do so. Nades are coming in, but you're going to be able to juke those for the time being. No secure on the kill onto Remix quite yet, as another defensive bombardment goes down.
I can't tell if that's a third party trying to come in. It looks like they are still below, just trying to find the right time to push them. But because they do have a Caustic, they're not going to be able to do that quite well. They're going to have to take some damage. So it's whenever they're willing to sacrifice their white health and the stun.
It looks like some nobodies are actually trying to contest this building for now. Protectable trying to clear out floor by floor. They've got confirmation. There's a Caustic above, and it's going to be difficult to push into the elevator shaft that way. And we know that GNR are still here. I believe they're currently as a duo right now. But some nobodies, they would love to try and find a fight here, as they're sitting on blues and whites, and it's the full send onto the rooftop, but they've taken so much damage. Pop-Tarts just back away, playing off of their barrels beautifully at this point, as it sounds like a knock did come through for Exile, and here comes the peak as, oh boy, they just got completely wiped. Here's Rockstar coming in for the fourth party now, though. They've lost out on Strictly. They take out GNR, but they lose out on Strictly throughout all of this.
How many teams can fit into one building? You know, that's got to be one of those like textbook trick questions, right?
I mean, when you're tiny living,
I think there's going to be
find a way.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a fifth party in here. I mean, they have been making so much noise. No one has been able to escape this building yet. And now we're seeing at least 2 to 3 teams here contesting for this one spot.
SJR now are the team on the roof, I believe, as Exile is just resetting up the barrels for his squad, making sure that they have the defenses set up, they have the positions to just fall back on again. A lot of nades have been used by Pop-Tarts. I'm surprised they still have so many nades, as SJR are looking for an entryway in, but Pop-Tarts have proven they can hold it down, and so we'll see if SJR try to continue push down on them.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts has to be careful about their resource management, though. I think they might be running a little bit low. They can only restock off the dead bodies for so long.
To be fair, there are plenty of bodies around, though, because there's been so much fighting here. But yeah, it's about getting to those bodies. A lot of them are on the first floor at this point. You can see Rice Krispies. They went for a run by, just a few missiles to say hello, and then ding dong ditch, and they just back away from this one.
Yeah, at this point, I think people want to try and play a little bit more carefully, especially if you already have KP. There's no need for you to try and rush in when you know that there are several teams in one area, and they could just all turn and shoot at you.
Yeah, you can see all the teams now starting to take position over here at Lava City. I believe we have Asuras there, Rice Krispies. Right now, 2 brains, 1 controller, catching out Team Rockstar. They were looking to try and get the res onto Strictly, but Kimchi gives his life for it. So I don't know if Rockstar are knocked out yet. It seems like he might actually be done. We'll find out in just a moment as we hop around from team to team.
Rice Krispie treats on the other side of Lava City, and it looks like they have the rooftop superiority, so that's good. They're able to push teams off and keep that rooftop to themselves.
And that team wants nothing to do with them, and Rice Krispies are just gonna keep an eye on them for now, but they have full control, like you said. Rooftop supremacy for them. They'll be able to get the extra replicator mats and replicate if they need additional heals and such. You can see it's right there along with the beacon, so Lightstar Joe can pick that up for them once this ring finishes closing. Here's 2 brains, 1 control. They got kill. Rambo coming in for them at this point as Tech gets the kill onto Decoy, and Einol's going down. Rambo will ultimately fall there, but 2 brains, 1 controller have enough to survive. Gold bag res to get the Rambo back into things.
What an amazing push. That was such a confident push. He was already about 20 health, but he knew how low that enemy was and just pushed with straight confidence, knowing that his teammate would come up and help support him. I love watching team-based games. I love Apex.
Heads up. Got one here.
And here's 6xZ's on the lurk coming out from Geyser here, and they're looking to quite possibly push this, but you don't see the trades, and it's taking too long. Scan out now. They caught one out in the middle of nowhere as Asuras are actually making a push for this building. And you asked how many teams can fit in this. Well, there's about 4 or 5 levels here, so I would say like 10. 10 squads can actually survive in here somehow.
That's
the way
probably what
they
it feels like being in there. Yeah, exactly. It probably feels like 10 squads.
Moving day, you got to make sure that you find yourself an Apex Legends player because they know how to make room at this point. But Asuras wants to try to find some breathing room for themselves as Nano goes for a cheeky peek there, but does have to back away, get some confirmation on the armor on the other side, and sees that there's at least a red Evo shield. And so it's going to be difficult, but they don't need to force the issue here. They've got some KP, and now they're going to try and play off of placements ultimately, as it's been Pop-Tarts just a huge roadblock for any team that has moved into this building.
Yeah, Pop-Tarts has shown that they own this building and that no one can really touch them inside of that second floor that they're on. And once the circle moves, I guess we'll have to see if they can stay there or if they need to leave, because they've made a pretty good they've stocked up pretty well in here.
Yeah, the presence of Pop-Tarts here in this building, you know, it's been worse than like having an HOA. They've been just continually able to SWAT teams away left and right. The presence of that of the barrels coming out from Exile is a constant threat, and no teams have been able to kind of dislodge them from this position. So Pop-Tarts are doing an amazing job. You can see the ring continuing to pull over here. And so now it comes down to ring number 5. Is it going to favor them, or will it pull up to the northwest over by that choke by Geyser?
Yeah, I'm hoping Pop-Tarts can get into a few more fights. I'm not sure how much KP they have right now. Even though they are holding this building pretty well, they still need some extra KP going into the last fight.
Ooh, port right behind 6xZs as they try to take the rooftop here, but Mittens takes a lot of damage, and he might go down. Oh, the Mirage didn't see that one coming. That's going to be Mercy picking that one up. 2 brains, 1 controller. They know they have the advantage. They want to find more. Goopy does take out Rambo, bringing this down to a 2v1. We'll see how much Goopy has left in the tank here, as the defensive bombardment has been used, I believe. But here he goes, laying in with the nades. That's a big connect onto the knock shield, actually. I thought it was a bit bigger than that, but Goopy will be able to heal up as Razor now coming in for the third party, but you have to imagine that, no, the thirst comes out onto Rambo, so 2 brains, 1 controller. We're just down to the 2 brains here as Rambo has fallen. We'll see how aggressive Zeratricky decides to get off of this as he tries to find another opening with those nades, but Razor, they know the position that they're in. They know that they're in for a solid finish at the very least, so they're not going to press the issue.
Yeah, I don't know if Team Razor has any KP right now. Looking at Zeratricky, I don't see anything. So they might want to try to go for endgame KP when everyone is in one spot. So that might work for them since they do hold such a big lead. Oh, looks like they may have caught a team out, actually.
Yeah, and that team is just stuck there. There's nowhere for them to go other than down and into the ring. And so Razor just need to bide their time. They don't need to do anything at all. Forcing out that bubble, waiting out the cooldown on that, and then they could go for the repush, and that's exactly what they're doing. Aculo now pushing up. It's going to be Team Pringles on the other side, and that's exactly who you want to take out here. Another team in the top 3, especially after that 30-point game in game number 5 now. You can see Presley just has to watch as this team slowly getting strangled out of this one.
Oh, this is unfortunate. This just shows you that rotation early is so important, because then you don't want to get caught out like this.
That allows Razor to get into this ring for free. So the zone will go ahead and start pulling away from the north, coming back down to the south. A lot of playable positions. You got the mini egg here. You got the train station along with that 5-story medical building to the northeast that we saw Pop-Tarts in. So things can slow down for sure here, as there's plenty of playable terrain and buildings for all of the squads remaining in this server right now. With 8 squads remaining, 22 players left, I believe there should be 2 duos still alive. 2 brains, 1 controller. Haven't been able to get Rambo back into this game quite yet. do have a fight going on as Aftermath now are pushing this building.
Yeah, Aftermath with the Bloodhound knowledge know that there's at least 2. Oh, and they might be able to get this finish here. Was he shooting his teammate? I'm not entirely sure what happened there.
When there are mirages on the field, sometimes you get a little bit carried away. You just want to shoot everything to make sure it's all gone. So I understand. I'm actually just making justifications for myself because that's what I do all the time. In the middle of fights, I'll just start shooting my teammates just in case. You never know. Maybe they, buffed Mirage to be, to be able to play like Spy from Team Fortress 2. But here's Pop-Tarts in that position that we saw earlier on, and this time around they've cleared out the roof, and so they have the roof to themselves. And take a look, people have just been littering left and right, leaving all sorts of trash on the rooftop. Not cool at all. HOA is not happy with this. There's going to be fines going around left and right.
It looks like they are getting damage off of this team trying to push in for that care package, but that's going to be a massive fight between 2 teams right here. Aftermath trying to push into this small trailer. 2 Gibby bubbles going off. This is going to be a messy fight.
Rizuki finding 2 kills here. Aftermath does get a knock onto Rizuki, but it's still a 2v1, and they recover. But here comes a third party now, as I believe it's going to be Team Razor pushing up, picking that one up. And yeah, Pop-Tarts are trying to find some kill points here, but really nothing of it, and they do just back away.
Yeah, so Lion actually ended up popping the who was it? The last one alive back there in that 2-stacked fight, because Lion has the longbow and was able to pick off that KP. So now they're sitting at 2.
Yeah, and their biggest threat now is actually going to be Team Razor, currently to their north. The other 2 teams. You do have a Surus below them, but they have all the barrels set up as like a early ring system for themselves, right? Just so you know, if you have a visitor. And so they don't have to worry about them. They just need to make sure that Razor are gate kept this entire time. But I think with a performance like this, Team Razor just absolutely clinch it here, making another top 4 finish here in game number 6.
Ooh, Pop-Tarts getting a knock. Oh, getting a knock behind, but they're not able to finish it since the Gibraltar shield does go down and they're able to get the res. Unfortunate.
Yeah, Rice Krispies are happy. I mean, they're fine with that. Even though the bubble came out, they're the only teams that are playing over by train side. Here's Team Razor, though, trying to make their move underneath the train tracks at this point. But Asuras are literally a thorn in their side right now as they're poking away at them. Now Team Razor, does there a tricky? No, he doesn't have his bubble, but he somehow makes it into the safety of this pylon here. But he's getting pushed. Nemusona trying to get aggressive here. Nemusona does decide better of it, but Lightstar Joe gets the kill onto Hakulo. Now Zeratricky is forced to use that defensive bombardment and the bubble here. He has the gold bag res, and Rice Krispies are not ready to push quite yet. Here comes the push, though. Nemusona.
Oh, no. That was unfortunate. The animation didn't go off, and he had tried to hit it again, and that just ended in their downfall there.
And we're down to our top 3 squads remaining now for the final circle here. As you can see, Pop-Tart still on the rooftop here. We have Asura stuck on the low ground. It's Rice Krispie Treats now. Now we're able to pick up some additional loots to play off of, and they have a lot of angles to work with here.
Yeah, it looks like they're the closest to the center, so they might actually be in the best position right now. The other teams in the buildings have to face each other as they come out. And Rice Krispies Treats, they're gonna have views on everyone leaving that building.
There's an option, quite possibly, for Pop-Tarts to use the Valkyrie Ultimate, Bubble Valkyrie Ultimate, to try and avoid the early game fight. But it's about once you're in the air, Rice Krispie Treats might have to deal with them. But right now, we'll see. It's all about Rice Krispie Treats here to try and close this one out. They're the ones that have priority on the zone. They're right there, smack dab in the middle. And both the other squads, Asurus and Pop-Tarts, just stuck inside this building.
They're just bullying them all, knowing that they have only 2 minutes to move. Oh, it looks like they are moving out, but what cover do they have out there? Why did they leave so early?
bubble's been used,
Oh,
but they're
looks
just fighting inside
yeah.
right now. Rice Krispies picking up the majority of that, and Asurus will get one off the tail end. But what a
Ooh.
beautiful spray down. Nano does answer back, taking out Clinical, brings us down to a 2v2. Nebusona on just a sliver of HP, and Lightstar Joe will fall. Asurus started off with game number 1 win, and they will take the final win of the day.
What a great way to close that out. You know, they win the first game and they win the last one. I was really worried about Rice Krispies there. I was like, please don't push a little too early. Please don't push early. And they did. It was just a split second too early and they ended up losing the game. But they did get second place, so that's really good.
Yeah, and we'll see if that does make a difference here. We're going to take a final break as we tabulate the last results for game number 6. And when we get back, we'll be able to announce the winners. So don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
I've been playing Apex Legends since the very beginning. What got me into it was I saw a bunch of streamers playing a brand new Battle Royale. It looked fast-paced, looked like a lot of fun, and I was looking for a new game to play anyways. So it was a really easy choice for me at the time.
Here's Kimchi Lee takes that turtle. He's got the death totem if he wants to drop that, but he doesn't even need it. The Prowler doing so much damage for him.
The legend that I most usually play is Pathfinder. I may play Gibraltar in comp, but that is a strictly business-only relationship. I really don't like playing him outside of comp. As for guns, can't go wrong with a wingman and a peacekeeper.
But it's Bets R Us that have the full reset. Kimchi Lee hasn't healed up yet, though. This jump pad has been used, and now they're going to go ahead and full send it, knowing it's the 2v1. Nebusona taking so much damage there, and it's going to be the final melee.
Playing with Strictly and Crummy, to put it simply, it's like a roller coaster ride. You got your ups, you got your downs. At the end of the day, you come off the ride with a big old smile on your face, happy that you were on that ride, happy you're on the ride with them. I wouldn't want to have any other two teammates by my side frying out every week. My name is Kimchi Lee, and I play Apex Legends for Team Rockstar, and you're watching Rockstar Week.
I told you guys to keep an eye out for them at the start of the day, and Ashura is coming out with a win in our final game, bookending their first open night performance here in Series E Season 3. I'm your host, Yeso, back here after all of our games are done, and we get to see Ashura's with the big win there, and Team Rice Krispies Treats gonna be kicking themselves a little bit there. Look like they had the positioning, they go for the finishing push, aren't able to hit the shots that they need, and Ashura's take the win. Still a good performance from RKT, though. They grab second place. That's going to be some great points for them to start off the year, and we'll see how it shakes up the standings. I'm very curious to see. I don't know exactly how many kills Ashura's got in that game, but they had a good start, a good finish. Does it put them in the conversation here at the end of the day to try and get into the top 2 for the money? I'm not sure. We'll find out in a little bit, but let's check out our player of the game for our final game of the day. And is it AJ? We started the day, I believe he had 5 kills in the first game that they won. Looked really, really strong, but I'm curious to see who from Ashura's gets it here in this final game. And remember, we will be going back to Stella and Jamerson momentarily. We'll check out our Mobile One leaderboard, our Mobile One high performance moment for today, and kind of close things out from that perspective. But player of the game here, production will have it for me here momentarily. Other than that, oh, okay, there it is. Beautiful. Nano. Okay. 4 kills, 6 assists, 1,425 damage there. Grabs player of the game for the last game of the day. So that's huge. So that is at the very least 10 kills on top of the 12 placement points that the boys were able to get. So we looked at the start of the day, right? Ashura's had 23 points in their first game. They're getting at the very least 22 in their last one. We're, again, not 100% sure where our contenders end up after that, right? When we came into this final game, we had Razor, Pringles, Rockstar in that top 3. And I know for a fact Rockstar grabbed 10 kills of their own. The placement points, not quite there. They were out much earlier in the game than they would have hoped, but they grabbed plenty of KP at the start. So there's a ton of questions that we have. But big congratulations there to Ashura's. Even if they don't get into that top 2 or 3, I think this was definitely a statement performance from them on their first open night performance here on World's Edge. Again, keep an eye out for them. We're going to go to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll check out our Mobile One leaderboard, our high performance moment, and get ready to wrap open night here in Rockstar Week.
I wasn't born in the spotlight. Nah. Had to grind and shine like a star on a hot night. And something about the struggle now resides in my muscles. And every trial and trouble helped to hang my hustle. Real rock stars don't chase the spotlight. It chases them.
There we go. All right, welcome back, guys, to Series E. The results have been tabulated, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Mobile One leaderboard. Razor with another top finish there to close out the day. Well, Asuris was the one to take the win, but was it enough? And no! Narrowly, Asuris miss out in top 2 by 2 points. And so Team Razor walk away with the win today, and Team Rockstar come in second place.
Man, what fights though from all of these teams. Like, they really gave it their all towards the end, and it was so crazy to see how many teams were in that one building. And you know, hey, Team Rockstar got second place. That's pretty good for their week, you know.
Yeah, it was Team Pop-Tarts that was holding down that building the entire time. They ultimately ended in 8th place with 27 points. But a good effort all around from all of our squads today. It was amazing games. I mean, imagine if we had a 6th game. We had that unfortunate issue in game number 2 where we had to void that one out, but Team Razor finished off strong. They had 3 games in a row where they finished top 3, top 4. So very excellent effort coming out from Team Razor. Let's take a look at the last Mobile One high performance moment of the evening coming out from game number 6.
We get to see Rice Krispies treats try to take the advantage from above, but they just push a little bit too soon here. They do have the advantage. They do get a few knocks, but the thing is they just pushed a little bit too soon and kind of gave up their high position. And you can see that it's already a 2v3 here. Or no, it's a 2v2. And they get absolutely decimated here, just playing around the Gibby bubble. And they just weren't able to do enough damage here to win it.
And super close. Asura is just missing out on 2 more points. I think the 2 kills, I think Rice Krispie Treats were able to actually take out 2 kills from Pop-Tarts, and that kind of would have been the difference maker. So ultimately, Asuris missed out on that, even though they ended up clutching it out and getting the win there. Still, really great finish for them. You know, something, I don't know what happened in the 4 or 3 games preceding this, where ultimately I think they only had like 6 points overall in the last 3 games. But if they can shore that up, show up some with some more consistency, they're definitely a team that we're going to have to keep an eye out for throughout the rest of Series E. That's going to do it for us, though. Thank you, Stella, so much for joining in on all the actions. We're going to go ahead and send it over to Yeso to close out the night.
All right, folks, welcome back. One more time, Yeso here in Studio Red of Esports Arena HQ. Please, if you haven't already, give some love. Jamerson and Stella crushing it on the cast today. And obviously, hats off to Stella, her first time on the Series E show. We certainly appreciate her coming in. She crushed it. No surprises there. Absolute pros pro. So great work from those two. Very fun cast to watch all throughout the day. And that's going to do it for Open Night tonight, folks. Rockstar Week kicking off with a very interesting competition. Team Razor coming out in first, and Rockstar just sneaking out with that 2-point lead to grab second place tonight. Certainly a performance that they can look to build on tomorrow, but the competition only going to be harder. Don't forget, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific time, right here at twitch.tv/esports arena, we will have our Week 2 Pro Night here for Rockstar Week. We got C9, TSM, and more all coming out to compete with our 9 partnered squads on World's Edge for 6 more games. So you're not going to want to miss out on that. If you want a little bit of a preview of that as well, make sure to use !power rankings in chat. Right now, you can take a look at my thoughts on where all of the pro squads stack up coming into this season of Series E. We got to see G2 dominate last Wednesday night, a couple of wins to close out the day and took the win. Can they do it again tomorrow night? Is a C9 or a TSM going to come out? Will Intel or Razer be able to repeat the strong performances we saw from them last Wednesday? Tons of questions, but the awesome thing is we'll have the answers for you tomorrow, so don't miss out on that. Also, head over to shop.esportsarena.com, follow us on all of our socials, and if you need more info on what's going on with Esports Arena, esportsarena.com is your destination. My name is Yeso. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. For myself, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports Arena, thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow.